I forgot we have to do the like a dragon thing again.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Lys.
Yeah, Kenzie?
It's like a dragon in here.
Is it?
It's a little bit like a dragon in here.
You know what?
Almost like there might... You know what? I think there might be 2 dragons in here.
2? 2 dragons? 2 of them.
We are back and we're playing Kiwami 2, baby.
I'm fully gonna go mask off and say we finished the recording of the last game, and then immediately started recording for 2. The intro for Kiwami 2.
Because I want to see my boys.
I want to get in there.
I want to get in. Yeah, we're jumping ahead of console generation. We're on a new engine. Shit's happening.
I've been told.
And you know
many
nothing
scary
about
things
this
about
game,
the combat system in here.
Yeah. It took them a couple tries to figure out the dragon engine. I'm interested in... I'm excited to replay 2 because it's another one where the story is low on my list of favorites and the gameplay has issues, but it also... I really love the characters, but so you already know this, and so I guess we can just... I'll stop being casually aloof. Daigo's my favorite character in the series, and Ryuji is probably my favorite antagonist. I think Nishiki's objectively the best, because, come on. But Ryuji's my personal favorite because I think he's funny. But both of them weren't my favorite when I played this game. I decided that later they grew on me. So I'm curious.
I know absolutely nothing about 2. I know nothing about Beyond 1. So I'm I know, and these names mean nothing to me. I don't know who these people are. I know you like Daigo a lot because when your birthday rolled around, I was like, I should draw a picture for Kenzie. And I was like, I'll draw that Daigo guy, and made a very dangerous Google search.
I'm really normal about him.
I'm very excited to meet him.
Wait. I think it would be really funny if you fucking hated him. I think that would be the ideal dynamic for the rest of this podcast.
We'll see what happens. I'm not going to purposely hate him, though, because I'm like, oh, that's Kenzie's little guy. And that's, even if I fucking hate his guts, it's going to be like, oh, that's Kenzie's little guy. What's he up to? So I'm very excited to meet him.
We have to amend our, it's 2006 ass game rating now. We've taken a step forward.
Hell yeah.
A very small step.
Very, very small step. The difference between 2005 writing and 2006 writing? We'll see.
We'll see. And so there are 16 chapters in 2, so we're going to do 4 at a time. Yes.
And a little mini Majima episode in between.
Yeah, we'll do a Majima Saga segue somewhere in there. But yeah, I guess nothing for it but to get into it. We'll see you after chapter 4.
Hell yeah. See you then. Okay.
And we're back.
And we're in.
All right. 4 very, very breezy chapters down. Well, okay, no. 3 very breezy chapters, and then 4 was...
4 was something.
4 took a detour.
4 had some heft to it, but it was still a good time.
Yeah. We start off back in Yakuza 0.
Oh, yeah.
What happened there? We get a flashback to the 80s, which was very hard for me to write a summary of, because I know what's happening. But they don't tell you much. Yeah, we see Kazuma kill a guy, and we see a new guy save a child and mother from a burning building.
I have no fucking idea what's happening. I don't know who this child is.
Don't worry.
I have a guess because of a later chapter, but I don't know. I know nothing.
I'm sure it won't be relevant.
Oh, yeah.
Back in 2006, we see Yuya, who's being harassed.
My favorite little attack chihuahua. I missed him so.
I love the bit. Both him and Kashiwagi have a thing of looking to the sky, what? I wonder where Kiryu is. I wish he was here. Where could Kiryu
be?
I also love. So we cut to after Yuya. We cut to Kashiwagi, who is now patriarch of the Kazuma family. And yet he's they're on the verge of war with the Omi. Things are not going well. he's like looking out over the city like, what would Kiryu do? And the answer is Kiryu would fucking bail. So I don't know what you want.
Kiryu would hit the bricks.
Kiryu got us here. Kiryu put you in this situation. I don't know what your game plan is. And somewhere else in the Millennium Tower, someone's planning a fireworks show. I'm sure that'll be lovely.
That'll be fun. I do want to add that I, too, often, throughout my day-to-day, wonder what would Kiryu do in many situations.
I do think this, and then I do the opposite of what Kiryu would do, usually.
That's probably very smart.
Because the answer to what Kiryu would do is block all your friends' numbers and leave, generally.
Yeah, probably.
Speaking of Kiryu, he's having a little nightmare. Poor guy.
Last year was a lot for him. He watched so many people die.
Sorry, brother, they weren't planning on a sequel. What can I tell you? But he is living with Haruka now. He's got the little drawing of him on the wall. Really gets me.
Lost my mind when I saw it.
So cute.
Wanted to cry real tears. Like, just look at him. Look at that little drawing.
And she comes to wake him up so that they can go visit their family's graves together. Which is very cute, but also is an opportunity to watch a half-an-hour-long summary of Yakuza.
I love the way they prompt that at the gravestones. Like, do you want to remember what happened last year? And I, like an idiot, did press yes until you were like, that's going to be like 30 minutes of your time. I'm like,
the reason I know it's that long is because I sat through it the first time. Because I was so curious, and it goes on for so long. No, I do like the image of Kiryu and Haruka going there together, and Kiryu just, like, clocks out, staring at it for 20 minutes.
Disassociating.
Haruka's like, okay, whenever you're ready.
You're right, Uncle Cass.
He does, but he says, I don't know why I'm the only one still alive, but I plan on raising Haruka right. That really took me out.
Yeah.
Really fucked me up.
And, it was Nishike's where he's like, I hope you're at peace now that the fighting's over, and I wanted to curl up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Alright.
Kiryu's survivor's guilt. A gets me. B is gonna get worse.
Oh.
Brother, he will keep surviving.
He sure does.
Yeah. Until we're interrupted by Terada, who also wants to Kiryu's advice on something.
This man was
I don't know why anyone thinks he would be able to help.
For maybe like 5 whole minutes. For maybe 30 minutes at the most.
I really love, I assume that this is based on, like, reality, so I'm not necessarily, like, whatever. But the fact that the titles that they use are always, like, number chairman. So that, like, Kiryu is permanently and forever the 4th chairman. And, like, everyone after him is... Like Terada being the 5th sort of implies Kiryu's legacy within it. Like...
Yeah.
You were there for 30 minutes, but you are there.
It wasn't...
You will always be...
imprinted onto him.
Yeah.
Permanently.
I think it's fun. I think it's a fun little eternal punishment. Thanks, Dad.
Puts a pin in that for later.
As Terada's asking Kiryu for advice with how to handle the war that Kiryu started by giving him the job. Oops. He gets shot.
Oh,
oops.
Yeah. I like how he insisted, like, 5 minutes ago, nobody's gonna shoot me here. It's the cemetery. Who would fucking do that?
His photo's taken moments before disaster. And he hands us another bloody will of a dying Tojo chairman. Yakuza loves a throwback. So Kiryu is dragged back to Kamurocho. Haruka immediately offering to stay at Sunflower because, like, you're gonna be busy now, huh? You've got a job to do. Is also another gut punch.
It's alright. I guess you gotta stay. I guess I do gotta go. I guess I got a job.
I guess I do. So we get back to the Tojo, where Yayoi Dojima, who is Sohei Dojima's wife, or was Sohei Dojima's wife, is the current acting chairwoman.
The entire time of this scene, I'm so fixated on the fact that Sohei was fucking insane for going around like behind her back. He was crazy.
Out of his mind.
He lands the baddest bitch just the baddest bitch in the entire world.
Fumbles harder than anyone has ever fumbled.
I would kill myself too, honestly.
The meeting's not going well. As most meetings in the Tojo clan tend to be a lot of people screaming at each other. But Terada's will is a offering of peace with the Omi, which most of the clan doesn't want to take up because they just killed the chairman. But, you know. And everyone assumes that if Kiryu goes to the Omi, that they'll just kill him. Which is fair.
Yeah, this is a possibility.
Yeah. I do like, I like Yayoi and Kiryu's exchanges here a lot, where she calls him out on, are you just doing this because you still feel guilty about Dojima's death and about Nishiki and everything? Which Kiryu is basically immediately like, what? Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he even answers, which was in and of itself an answer.
Yeah,
to that question.
He said he kind of dodges it and says something like, oh, well, Nishiki's debts are mine to pay now because he's my brother. But dodges the like, so this is a suicide mission because you feel like a bad person, right? Cool. But before he goes, he wants to meet a very special boy.
A very special boy.
Because he thinks he wants to he asks her where her son Daigo is, because he thinks he's the kind of person that they need to rebuild. And she's like, I don't know about that.
Hasn't been doing so well, but
he's not been doing so hot. She says that he attacked the Omi a little while ago, did some time in jail, has just kind of been bumming around, and Kiryu's like, what? Okay. I'll go see. I'll go see what's up.
And the entire way there, you were just running into people who have been, like, on his path to destruction, and it's like, okay, this guy sounds real
like
shitty.
An asshole.
This guy sounds like a dick.
Yeah, he has this kind of, like, clique of rowdy boys who follow him around and keep starting shit. And he says later, he's like, I don't even like these guys. They just won't leave me alone because they know that I'm the chairman's son or whatever. Like, he had no... He's been going along with it, sure. Certainly hasn't been stopping them. But it does seem like he just kind of was trying to go get blasted every night. And these guys keep showing up. It's like, okay, sure.
This guy's hard up for friends, so fine, you can hang.
By God, he needs friends. I'll
tell you what, I'll be his friend. I like him.
Yeah, I'm glad. I as much as I joked about it, I did not actually think you wouldn't like him.
He's pretty funny. I'm charmed.
He's my little guy. My little 30-year-old guy. It's funny because I go back and forth between he feels like they wrote a 21-year-old and then accidentally made him 30. And then sometimes I'm like, well, I'm 27 and I feel like this could still be me in 3 years.
Yeah.
He feels like what in fiction would usually be a 20-something, but is a very real 30-year-old experience.
It does. He really does.
I have lost the plot of what was going on. We went
to go find him. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. You go ahead.
No, but you know me. I guess start talking about my boy. So Kiryu asks him to come back to the Tojo, and he's like, yeah, fuck that, dude. And says that he gave up on the clan because Kiryu was his hero as a kid, and then he killed his dad. So,
buddy,
you know, which obviously wasn't actually true, but still, because that would have happened when he was 20, which is like still young enough to be really idealistic, and for that to be a huge crushing blow.
Right. It's gotta be rough.
Yeah, because then his whole, like, gambit of attacking the Omi and getting arrested would have been still in the period where he thought Kiryu did it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was rough. I also, I'm immediately. I was like, I'm gonna try not to show any character bias in this, and then I'm like, do you want to talk about Daigo for 20 minutes? He's been here for 10.
Please.
But I really love, so we in our last episode, the Zero sub story colors this a lot for me, which in the way that it's like you get to see his like childhood idolization of Kiryu and him being like super sheltered and spoiled, but the fact that like I think at the end of it, when Kiryu kind of gives him shit and knocks him around a bit, he does like take responsibility and want to be like, you get the he wants to
emulate Kiryu.
Yeah.
He does look up that. Oh God, when he says like, "You were my fucking hero, man."
Really gets
like, yeah.
It also really because so their age difference is only 8 years, which isn't like huge, but I do love that the backstory of Kiryu used to babysit him perfectly explains like, okay, when you babysit someone, they're a child forever. That is a generational divide you cannot get past. Always.
I can see it as a very real like sibling relationship where it's like that's your sibling your very little sibling who's 8 years younger than you. They're always gonna be that little the little berries and cream boy who was wearing shorts and running around Kamurocho and
give him his shorts back. It would fix this problem. We could end this fight.
I think Daigo should wear shorts.
I think Daigo should wear shorts. This is my final statement. But yeah, so Kiryu is basically like, I know that the Tojo's worthless and shitty, but like, you could be the person to make it good again. Please. But eventually Daigo gives in
all
because
of the responsibility on him.
This will go well. Eventually Daigo gives in because he has a fucking score to settle in Kansai, so he's like, sure, whatever. And that score to settle is with Ryuji Goda, who apparently laid a trap for him to bait him into attacking them and getting arrested. LOL. Sucks to suck, idiot.
Get got, dumbass.
He tells us this on the train over to Sotenbori. We're back in Sotenbori, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
it's like Yakuza 0 in here.
It's like Yakuza 0 in here. And in Sotenbori, we get my favorite Dragon Engine feature, which is walking into stores with no loading screen. It's so good.
It's really
so good every time. I miss it every time I have to play one of the older ones. It also ends up has fun side effects like being able to throw people into stores, and then the cashier says, "Please fucking leave. You've destroyed my store. I'm not selling you shit." It's good. Good engine. It has some issues, but they fix it. It's fine. Anyway.
So far, I'm enjoying my time with the Dragon Engine.
It's very...
Kira's eyes look so big and wet.
Yeah. The issues with it are mostly combat stuff, but the the fluidity of it and the look of it is so instantly really cool. Spot on. It's good. We talked to the weirdest guy in town, who gets us into the Grand. I feel like Kiryu didn't have a real reason to go to he was like, I'm gonna go out and get a drink, and then somebody says, you can't come in to this super cool VIP spot, and Kiryu's like, well, I have to go there now.
I have to. Surely there'll be information in there.
Surely. But yeah, we, I don't know, this fucking guy in the purple suit with his whole brother's cousin's masseuses, whatever his bit is.
I'm sure it's probably like something on Osakan culture.
Yeah,
it feels like that.
True. That's true.
I am a dumb American and I don't fully get it.
It's just... Kiryu will walk into a city and the weirdest guy around will be like, you're my friend and I'll get you whatever you need. Kiryu's like, alright. Sure, I guess.
Sure.
But he does successfully get us in. And also in the VIP section is Ryuji Goda.
Who's
my best friend. He's a blonde bitch. The only bullet point I have under this is Kiryu's so cool.
Yeah.
Which is most of what this scene is. It's just...
It's just Kiryu being so really cool.
He picks a fight with Ryuji's lackeys and impresses him and whatever. Because he's really cool. Ryuji asks his name and then says, like, the Dragon of Dojima, the Tojo clan's Kiryu Kazuma. And Kiryu says, no, that's not who I am. Which Ryuji takes more literally, but is also like, just like...
Another Kiryu, of course.
but is also just is a very in-character response of like, no, that's not who I am. Because he's trying very hard to not be that person. I do, the two readings of this are Ryuji is the dumbest boy alive, which is fair and might be true. I read it more as like Kiryu's kind of daring him to react and he's playing it cool. But he might just be the dumbest boy alive. I might be trying to give him points because I like him.
Yeah. Either, you know what? Either can be true, but also both can be true.
Yeah, pretty much. But since Kiryu's his new best friend, he tells him that he's known as the Dragon of Kansai, and he fucking hates that because he wants to be the only dragon. So this might turn into a rivalry or something.
More dragon analogies? Wow.
He's the last dragon for a while, in fairness. But yeah, we've got a lot of dragons going on. And he tells us that he's planning a big fireworks show in Kamurocho, and he's gonna fucking kill Kiryu Kazuma. And then the Millennium Tower explodes. Again.
This time with less money.
With less... Yeah, there's not even any money this time. Real bummer. So at the start of chapter 3, we get a little cutscene of Kaoru... That's not how you say that. Hi, Kaoru.
Okay.
Kaoru? Why am I having trouble?
Yeah,
Kaoru Sayama, who is a Osaka police officer known as the Yakuza Huntress, and is asked to keep Kiryu in protective custody so that things don't explode and get worse for the police. We'll run into her later. She gets a pretty cool intro. She does get a
cool intro.
I'll give her that.
I don't think she's fully cool to me yet.
Yeah, so
she's...
I want to like Sayama for just like she's our first major woman who gets to like do things, kind of.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should like her. But she is so deeply like exactly what a mid-2000s female video game character was allowed to be, which is like they have to be loud and assertive and like keep up with the boys and get in fights, but also she gets damseled like 5 different times because she also has to be less cool than him and she has to be romantically like whatever.
Yeah.
I wish she was better. Anyway. But yeah, so her first intro scene is her roughing up some guys because it's gotta be.
Yeah, she's gotta look cool.
She's gotta look cool. And by God, does she do it sometimes, except for when Kiryu's in the room. And then she has to be less cool.
And then she can't be cool.
Meanwhile, Kiryu and Daigo are heading to the Omi headquarters. And there's one of the guys in the halls that you talk to says like, oh, each of these pots on display is utterly priceless and irreplaceable. So of course I diligently took the time to run into all of them and knock them all over before fighting even started because I'm an asshole. I also like there's because the whole place is like this maze of staircases. It's a nightmare of a building. But there is an elevator that is reserved for the chairman, which I think is a cute touch, because it's not exactly like foreshadowing that he's in a wheelchair, but it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they would need to have an elevator. But they only let him use it, because everyone else has to use the stupid stairs.
Everybody else has to go through the torture chamber. The chairman gets the cool elevator now.
Yeah. So, we get our intro to Chairman Goda, as well as some of his officers. I've written Takashima, the stuffy one, and Sengoku, the asshole one. That's all you need to know about these two. One of them had a really
cool green suit.
Yeah, Sengoku has swag.
Yeah.
Regrettably,
he does have a little bit of swag.
I don't want to give him credit, but he does have a little bit of swag. And I do think it's really funny that like it ends up working out and making sense. But after the Omi being built up as like this huge threat, villainous organization, we get there and the chairman's like, dude, all that shit was Ryuji. I'm just trying to keep this shit under control.
He's like
everyone 90, under me.
He's like 90 in a wheelchair. He's got
and like
it's
all
Ryuji.
It's all Ryuji. And like even within this meeting, you can see that they have way more officers than the Tojo does, and that those officers, like Sengoku's like talking shit basically to the chairman in front of him. Like, he has no control of this fucking circus. God bless. And so because he's lost control of this fucking circus, he agrees to the alliance because he wants the Tojo to be rebuilt and be allied to sort of even things back out. But as we agree to this deal, Ryuji's not down for that. And he
wants war.
He wants a war because he wants to fucking hit people. King. I'm not supposed to be on his side. So he pulls a coup. They take the chairman hostage. I need to stop. My fucking bullet point is just all caps. Daigo cringe.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's so sad. It's so genuinely tragic. He's like, I came all the way here to settle this beef with you, and Ryuji's like, cool. Who
One more are you?
Like, I've fucked over a lot of chumps, and I do not remember all of them, my dude. I don't know what you want from me.
Didn't he, like, run up to him and get his fucking ass beat, like,
yeah, he runs up to him and, like, goes to punch him, and Ryuji, I think it's, like, the hilt of a sword. He, like, knocks him in the stomach and just immediately knocks him out. And he's, like, through the whole next fight, he's, like, on the ground in the corner of the room.
With his little leg of bi-curiosity, like, up and bent.
It's so pathetic. But to give him credit, he gets the fuck back up and tries it again.
Oh, yeah.
God bless him. And then during the next fight, so once you are, like, out of the room and fighting in the hallway, if you look back into the room, the two of them are, like, circling each other. It's cute.
Like dogs or, like, cats hissing at each other. And they'll just keep doing it for as long as you keep staring at them.
Yeah. It doesn't work out for him the second time either, but it goes a little bit better. He still comes out pretty roughed up.
He gets a few swings in, at least.
Yeah, he's trying. God bless him, he's trying. The boss fight with Ryuji, I'm curious how this went for you.
It was fine. I think I used a lot of weapons and stuff that I had on me because I was...
That's fair. That makes sense.
I don't remember anything in particular that he was, like...
Okay.
Beating. I think he was just hard to land a hit on.
No, he is.
Some occasions,
yeah.
But...
So the first time I played this, I went in with, like, no healing items, no nothing.
That's where and I differ, because I'm paranoid.
It turned into literally a Dark Souls boss fight. I by the end of it, I had memorized all of his attack patterns. I was, like, baiting him around the room to get space, and then dodging in to get, like, one hit in, and then run back out. Like, I was playing Dark Souls, genuinely. It went better this time.
I think every Yakuza game should be us figuring out how you turn it into a Dark Souls game with at least, like, one boss.
I'm really
per game.
good at it. It's my talent. I don't know why this is here in my notes, but my other favorite Dragon Engine thing, which I don't know if you might not have noticed yet, because it's a weird fucking thing to notice. It's a weird fucking thing for me to be kind of obsessed with. They model, like, every character model, or at least the guys, when they bend their legs, their pants ride up. so you can you get their ankles and their socks show, and I don't know why. I think it's so cute. It's just such a tiny thing to add.
I haven't noticed it yet, but now I'm gonna look for it. That is
it's really charming.
Absolutely. That is absolutely fully beyond insane, and I can't wait to go look for it now.
It's so funny that, in no other series are there enough people wearing dress pants and kicking that this would be necessary. And yet, here we are.
Here we are. We're figuring out technology for the important things.
It's a real highlight for me. Anyway.
The chair guys are back. I did notice this. The chair guys are fucking
hate the chair
back.
Guys. But
we can become the chair guy, and we have to become the superior chair guy. We have to
become the chair guy. Yeah, in this game specifically, I remember the chair guy. I think it's because of the fucking Looney Tunes ass physics, where if they hit you, you bounce down the whole hallway. This was the peak of me being I
turn
fucking
into Daffy Duck every time the fucking chair touches you.
It sucks. Once we get through all that, Sayama shows up to take us in.
We've been arrested again.
And then we get a cut to the Tokyo police. Date's back. Our buddy. Our guy.
Good friend Date.
And he's kind of famous and also quit, but he got a bit of a reputation based on...
He would. That makes sense.
And our buddy from the intro is also a cop. His name's Kawara, and he's known for being a killer, which is a cool thing for a cop to be.
Yeah, really cool. Awesome.
Yay. And the two of them are called in to talk to Sudo and a guy who's named Kurahashi, apparently. I have no memory of him, but I wrote down his name. In a archive that's known as the Scandal Graveyard. Cool thing for cops to have.
Awesome thing for cops to just be. Just to have a scandal room.
Have and know and be cool with. They suspect that a foreign mafia was involved in Terada's murder, and they name Kazuki as a suspect because he's Korean. That seems to be the only reason.
This is an incredible portrayal of cops.
Yeah.
In video games. Something so funny about this being 2006 is look at these cops and they're investigating and they're so cool and they're trying to figure things out, and now it's
Yeah, this game has a lot of cop drama and a lot of thoughts about Koreans. Outside of the police station, back in with Kiryu and Sayama, she immediately gets shot.
Wow.
We immediately have to carry her to safety. Woman moment. Yeah.
A win for women.
Feminism. She names a bar Aoi. Why can't I pronounce a single Japanese word today? Hi?
Aoi?
Yeah, Aoi. But the mama of the bar took her in after her parents died. We find out.
Gets her patched up.
We get her there, and we have this stupid little mini game where she's bleeding out, and everyone's trying to ask you dumb questions about it so that she dies faster. Hysterical.
Incredible.
So she thinks that the sniper wasn't Ryuji because Ryuji would have done something less subtle. So she sends Kiryu to an info broker. And this is another fucking back and forth bullshit ass Yakuza moment.
This all disappeared from my brain because I forgot about this. This was a few days ago, and I'm like, what's happening now? I thought we were at the end of the chapter already.
We're getting there. But in the running back and forth, another of my stupid Dragon Engine things, shoutouts. My favorite store in the series is the Don Quixote in Sotenbori, which has two entrances that are on two different floors. I think it's cute.
It is.
I got nothing else to say about it. It's just really
remember
cute.
When we were playing, it got pointed out, and I was like, oh, that is cool. There's a riverside
I love
entrance to it.
The riverfront in Sotenbori is probably my favorite, like, little location in the series. It's just the wallpaper of my phone. Anyway, so after all the dumb running around bullshit, we find out the bullet came from Takashima, who didn't intend to kill her. He was basically just trying to fuck with Kiryu. And meanwhile, Sengoku is putting a 100 million bounty on Kiryu's head. Shit's happening. We've been in town for 5 minutes, and it's all gone to hell.
This is the effect of Kiryu.
So we head back to Sayama and get ambushed by the cabaret, which I was playing this. Around here was when I hit my bedtime, and I just desperately wanted to go to sleep. And this goes on for so long. It goes on so long, and it makes you play a whole round, and then they keep hanging. But it's fine because I love Yuki, and she's perfect,
I'm very excited
and I would never
to do this. I
be upset with her.
opted not to right away because I didn't realize this was the end of the chapter, basically, and I was like, oh, I should go do the story stuff and then come back to this. And then it was the end of the chapter, and you're back in Kamurocho. I'm like, fuck!
Oops.
My girls.
Yeah, we'll be back in Sotenbori.
Mm-hmm.
When we finally do get back to Sayama, we find out that she doesn't know who her birth parents are, and the mama won't tell her, and she thinks that the Tojo clan is connected to them somehow. Ooh. Who knows? Mystery.
I do like that you are making the joke of, oh, it's a mystery, and I'm sitting here playing this game for the very first time, like, yeah. It is a mystery. I'm not. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not making
it is a mystery.
We just don't know. We just don't know. We have no idea.
It's not a mystery to you.
I did have to think about it. I couldn't remember the answer for a second. I do remember the answer now.
Oh. I know nothing.
But we get a phone call from the police chief who tells us Daigo and the chairman were kidnapped. We left them unsupervised for 5 minutes.
Oh, Daigo.
By a group speaking a foreign language. Ooh.
Oh. Do you think
and
it's
that's
Korean?
Where we left off. Do you think
it's Korean?
Yeah, there's two options, really. I think they should just be like French.
Oh, that would be so funny.
That would be such a good twist.
I want that to happen in a Yakuza game. I want the foreign...
Or like the Italian mafia.
Oh, please.
They're just here.
God. What a change. What a refreshing change that would be.
Beautiful world.
We didn't get to point it out at the moment when we were discussing it, but right before you do go to, like, Kansai to go to the building and have the meeting and whatnot, Daigo's, like, standing there on the bridge, and if you start a fight in front of him... this is important to me! I liked it!
It's important to me!
If you start a fight in front of him, or someone starts a fight, and you beat it in front of him, he has, like, a special little cheering... Daigo has, like, a special cheering animation for it. He, like, claps, and he, like, cheers you on.
I love that he does it, and then immediately goes back to standing perfectly still, like he gets embarrassed.
Just standing man emoji. Like, it's nothing. I wasn't cheering. Good. Don't worry about it.
It's so good. I love him so bad.
It was really good. I enjoyed that.
Well, that was the end of our chapter. We should probably go save him.
We should probably go save him. Huh?
Yeah.
I also got to get back to Sotenbori so I can continue the cabaret minigame.
That's more important, probably.
That's very important to me.
Yeah. That's gotta be more important.
Let's go.
We'll be back after chapter 8.
Yeah.
We've done it again.
We're back.
I've
been in the cabaret mines. I apologize.
You've been in the cabaret mines. We're pulling you out, soldier.
I did it, though.
You're in too deep.
I won the war.
I'm glad. Joining the war on women, on the side of women.
Yeah.
Speaking of women, the second chapter 5 starts. Sayama gets damseled again. God bless. Category 5 female character moment. So we drag her into Serena, which is eerily empty. It's a little spooky. I don't love it.
It's spooky and also kind of sad. Kind of really sad.
It's kind of devastating. Yeah, no, the fact that
there are ghosts here.
And, like, Kiryu comes back to Kamurocho, and the only place he can think of to go is a place that is empty. It's cool. Thumbs
I also
up.
gotta wonder who's paying to keep the lights on in there. I mean,
yeah.
to an extent. Also, it's because it's Kamurocho. Things get fucking... A business goes out of business, and then immediately another one is in there. Who's keeping Serena like Serena? What's going on there?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, this is jumping way ahead, but I know when we end up going to Shangri-La, there's an NPC that's standing outside who's like, this is prime real estate. Why has no one knocked this thing down yet? This is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Things in Kamurocho will be replaced immediately unless they have emotional significance to one man, and then they get to stay forever.
Like the batting cages.
Which are not secretly being funded or anything.
Especially not by the Majima family. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. We get a call from our kidnappers who ask us to meet them in
the Adama building, I think?
I want to say it was Awano.
Awano, yeah.
But before we go there, we decide to report back to the Tojo clan, who are not happy about any of this, shockingly. There's never a meeting in headquarters that's, like, going well.
Who could have done this? Who could have predicted this?
We get our boy Shindo. Is he our boy? I don't know that he's our boy. Our boy Shindo.
He's a boy.
Famous for his forgettable boss fight in Yakuza 1. I forget what it even was. The Nishikiyama family, like, has jurisdiction over that building. And Yayoi is like, great, you can help protect Kiryu when he goes in. And he's like, I don't think I'm going to do that.
I don't want to do that.
I think we're good. I don't want to do that. Fuck that. He's got beef. Understandably. And
Kiryu's very taking it in stride. It's like, yeah, no.
Kiryu, immediately jumps to self-sacrifice, as always. So he's like, yeah, whatever. Don't worry about it. But I think it's really funny that I think part of it is that Nishiki was less fleshed out in the original because the family that is left behind when he's dead is just full of assholes. It's just like, he left a legacy. God bless.
God bless.
He did his best. But
did he?
Well, did he? That's a great question. Forum closed. So Yayoi gives Kiryu the key to the Tojo clan, like, secret warehouse where they've stored all of the stuff from the captains who have fallen. And it's the answer that he comes up with is funny, but the task she gives him is funny to start with. She's like, here's a room full of dead guys' stuff. Can you look at it and find some inspiration?
It's
maybe
a little bit of like a Zelda puzzle. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a little bit of a Zelda puzzle. And she doesn't tell you where it is. She makes you go find the secret passage or whatever.
It out. Where could it be?
What is your goal here?
Big golden bull statues, suspicious.
No wonder people want Kiryu back. This is how they're settling disputes. But yeah, we find the secret keyhole to the secret door. And the one thing Kiryu picks up is Majima's dagger. And goes, I have an idea. I don't think Yayoi is gonna like it.
I think the reason he gravitates to it is because it's the one thing that doesn't belong to a dead guy in there. Yeah, it's like, that guy's not dead. Oh, I got an idea.
Honestly, that's fair. Like, what are the dead guys gonna help? Kiryu can stare into the sky and think about people who have died for him any other day of the week. That's all he does. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. Literally.
But I do love him bringing this to Yayoi. And she's like, oh,
gosh, and Lonnie are both like,
no.
You can't be serious. But they don't have a better idea, so they're just like, why? All right. It's so funny.
All right. Guess.
I promise this will be the last time I get on my Majima Everywhere bullshit, but I do think that this bit is way more interesting if you take Majima Everywhere out. And it's just Kiryu being like, they were not friends. They only had these couple weird interactions. It's purely Kiryu, like, respecting his strength and leadership as a person. I think it's neat.
It is.
I think it's a funny little...
It is. Will not be your last time going up on your Majima everywhere.
I think it is. I could be wrong. It's possible. We'll find out.
Do not make promises you cannot keep. I kind of feel... I get it. You run into this really weird guy a couple times, and you are shit out of ideas.
Yeah, I mean...
So you're like, you know what?
He's like,
let's see if the weird guy is alive.
You know who can put up a fight and is inexplicably compelling? I know one guy.
I know one dude, for sure.
I was trying to interpret what my next bullet point is, because it just says 2006 video game moment woman. But it's the fucking scene of Sayama randomly taking a shower. I was
gonna ask if it was the Sayama scene when you get back to Serena.
Yeah, because well, first of all, Kiryu gets a call where she's like, hey, I need you to go shopping for me, because women be shopping.
Women be shopping, and also she didn't know she was staying the night. Yeah. You're a cop? Have an overnight bag on your car? I don't know.
Literally. Like, what? Come on.
But okay.
In what world were you taking Kiryu into protective custody for under 24 hours? Whatever. It's fine. We're not... After we do her shopping...
Oh, the shopping list, by the way. Underwear and beer.
Normal shopping list for me on a Friday night.
Yeah, honestly.
I've been there. As we have this incredibly 2006 video game moment, she tells us a little bit about her motivation for joining the force was because the mama of the bar that she grew up with wouldn't tell her about her parents. But she was convinced that they had something to do with the Tojo clan because of a phone call or something. I don't remember. She
overheard a phone call and heard something about the Tojo clan.
Yes.
Being responsible for throwing her life into hell, I guess.
Mama tells her that she's not going to tell her because knowing the truth won't make her any happier, which is a fun little theme that we get to run with for the rest of this game. Because Kiryu immediately says, well, knowing what happened to my parents didn't make me any fucking happier.
Yeah, it's like that. There's some truth to this. And I think you've said it's like one of the only times he starts to unpack the whole Kazuma.
He does not talk about this often. And even in this conversation, he says, like, I wish that I hadn't found out because it only made things worse. And then immediately is like, but I've forgiven him. I'm like over it. It's fine. Like, he shoves it back in the box, shoves it back under the bed. We're good. We're fine. Yeah.
Opens the box like a little bit, takes a peek, and then immediately closes it back and puts it away.
Like, even to someone who didn't know Kazuma at all and everything, he can't admit that there maybe was something a little fucked up there. He's just like, anyway. He's fine. He doesn't need therapy.
No.
And
no one in this game needs therapy, apparently.
And I like that Sayama's comeback is like, well, sure, you can decide that because you know. Like, that doesn't fucking help me. That doesn't mean anything.
It's fair, but also...
It's fair. So they head to Purgatory. Why do we go to Purgatory? Oh, because Majima's there. I forgot what was going on.
Yeah. Apparently the florist has moved out, and Majima has moved in.
Okay.
And he's got big realty dreams. Real estate? Real estate.
Yeah. We head to West Park, and there's no park. It's a construction site, but Purgatory is still underneath it, and Purgatory still looks the same.
Looks around at the construction site. I wonder if this will be a minigame later.
I can't imagine. That would be crazy. So we go down to the florist's old office, and Majima comes out and talks, whatever. One of the first things he says, or he asks who the girl is, and Kiryu's like, oh, she's a plebe, or she whips out her badge or something, and Majima's just like, Kiryu, what the fuck?
Why'd you bring a cop here? The hell's your issue?
Kiryu, what the fuck?
Not only a cop, but a cop from Osaka, so Majima is immediately offended on all levels.
Yeah, honestly. We find out Majima has started a construction company, which he's renovating, and has absolutely no interest in going back to the Tojo clan. Is like, fuck that, LOL. But because no one is immune to Kiryu's big old puppy dog eyes, He agrees to come back.
Kiryu batters his eyelashes a little bit, and he's like, all right.
So the dynamic of Kiryu having like weapons grade puppy dog eyes and having no idea.
He literally, Majima literally says, because it's you. This will continue to happen.
This will keep happening with multiple people. He has no idea that he is wielding like nuclear grade weapons.
Big brown beamers.
But so if Kiryu fights him in the Coliseum, he'll come back and help.
Well, he didn't say if he fights him in the Coliseum. He has to go 3 rounds in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And then the last round just so happens, because I fucking
just so happens.
I love how this was done. The first 2 rounds you see Majima just chilling with some ladies up in the stands, and one Majima with women, lol. But also at before the last round starts, he looks up and it's like, oh, where did Majima go? And he does this stupid little dance into the Coliseum. And Kiryu just has the fondest smile. The glint in his eye.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's insane. Can anyone hear me? What? They were crazy.
It's one of those scenes that like I've seen people post like screenshots of it and be like, "There's no heterosexual explanation for whatever," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And then I replayed it and I was like, "Man,
God damn it, they had a point. Fuck.
Holy shit."
I'm sorry, I had to lose my mind on that one a little bit. It was pretty good.
It's good. After our fight. Kiryu gives his pitch to Majima that he doesn't actually need him to come back. He just needs him to kind of throw his weight around for a minute, get things back under control. Majima says that he is not surprised it went to shit because he didn't fucking like Terada, which is why he left. It's almost like appointing a guy who you knew for 5 minutes wasn't a great idea, but whatever.
There was a really good line in that conversation. Towards the end, I don't know if it was before the Coliseum or I think it was after when they're like, they're agreeing to it.
If it's the one that I'm
where it's like, it's all right to trust people, Kiryu, but you gotta be careful. And I feel that was like one of the most sincere things he said in like a long time.
Yeah.
And also I felt my bones crunching in on each other just when I heard it. Just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Maybe I'm looking a little bit too hard at a line, but it's Majima, and that would just that man's not sincere.
Yeah, I think there is
most of the time.
Yeah, I think like there's something to be said for the fact that now that he's not under Shimano and he's not under the Yakuza in general, he's more genuine as a person.
He's still like
there's still the mad dog thing for sure, but like it feels less like it's necessary to survive. Like it feels like he's a little.
I will say now. I'm gonna go ahead and step on your little soapbox real quick.
No,
I do
please.
feel Kiwami 2 has a much better blending of classic old Majima, but also the characterization that we got in Zero. It's much more cohesive. And I think because you said, because Shimano's not there and all that, Yakuza stuff isn't weighing him down. He gets to,
I think, like...
He is a silly man, but he also there were so many genuine moments with him, and you get to see that, blend a lot better.
No, absolutely. I think that Yakuza 1 Majima is just kind of a different beast, and then the rest of the series is a little more...
If they had just saved... I feel like they could have saved the Majima Everywhere system probably for 2. Yeah. And it would have been more in character, maybe.
I think... Yeah.
I get what they were trying to do.
For sure. And I think a lot of it is just, because of the order that things came out in, Majima was a fan favorite in the first couple games, because look at him.
Of course.
And so, I think after they released Zero, where he was huge, and then they're trying to pull people back in to play the rest of the series, because both Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2, they just like tossed a bunch of extra Majima in. And I think that that's a lot of why Majima Everywhere ended up happening, is just like, oh, all the people who only played 0 and we're trying to pull them back in are expecting this to be half Majima's show. So
yeah, not quite, but
but yeah, I get how, whatever, we know my position. And then we get the longest intro for side content fucking ever.
I made that joke 5 minutes ago and I've already forgot, but yeah, imagine my construction time.
It goes on for so long. I did a decent amount of this the first time I played the game. It's a perfectly fine side mode. But when I went in knowing, like, this time around, I was like, I'm not going to do any of this. I don't care. And so I'm like on my phone scrolling Twitter, and I keep looking back up in disbelief. Like, this cutscene is still going? What's happening?
There were parts of it I did like, just some of the character interactions. Where Kiryu is like, of course I'm gonna help you. You're helping me and you're putting yourself out on the line to help me. Of course I'll help you. And I guess I don't get the reasoning of, no, I don't want you to, or whatever. But there was that little bit of like, yeah, I'll put myself out on the line for you because you're doing that for me. That was a good moment. Yeah, the rest of it was
distracted with like, look at these wrestlers we paid to be in our game. Are you looking at them? Are you looking at them? Are you looking at them?
I am looking at them.
But they do get some good interactions between the two of them later down the Majima construction.
Now that I am out of the cabaret mines, that is my next personal little mission that I'm going to get done, so I'll check back in with that. But
Godspeed.
There were some really good Majima moments in the cabaret, which I wasn't expecting as much. I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really like the cabaret. We can get that, and we can tack that on at the end.
Okay. We go back to Serena and get another little conversation between Kiryu and Sayama. I think this is the point where Kiryu says that he forgave Kazuma, so he's over it. Because Sayama's like, if I find out who killed my fucking parents, I will not be forgiving them. Kiryu's like, okay, good luck.
Good luck with that, girl.
I'm sure that'll go great for her. So chapter 6, Date goes to Stardust with, I've forgotten his name, Kawara. I got there. To tell Kazuki that he is a suspect and he should maybe... They're just, like, testing him to see what he does. And sure enough, he fucking bails. Meanwhile, Kiryu is going to meet the kidnappers and find Daigo. We fight up this whole building, and we get the most annoying recurring mini-boss.
Oh my god, the man in black.
He sucks. I'm sick of him.
He sucks. Oh my god, he sucked.
I had no memory of him going into this game, and I walked into the room, and I went, oh.
I remember you saying that, and then I caught up to that point, and our friend of the show was like, "This is the room Kenzie was talking about earlier." By the way, I'm like, "Oh God, no!"
The room where it happened.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah, he's gonna keep showing up.
Oh,
I think he was also a Kiwami edition. I don't know what they were cooking.
I know I think he's the guy that texts you stuff. Why is he trying to kick my ass?
Maybe. I don't know. He contains multitudes.
I just kept throwing stuff at him.
That's fair.
Weirdly throwing so much garbage and construction debris at him until he died.
I was obsessed also with or I don't think this happened here. I think this was more at Shangri-La. But when they kept giving you enemies who were like behind a small ledge or across a gap to be like, have you used the throw button? We put physics in this game. You hit the throw. You should throw something at them.
You should throw something at them.
That was at the thrown things
that
yet?
Was at the Shangri-La. Because I remember I was like, there's bricks like around that you can throw at them.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I get it. I understand. Right. I don't like it, but I got it.
Thanks. Thank you. So we get to the top of this building, and there's 2 Kazukis. What's the deal with that?
That's weird.
That's weird. Yeah, so Kawara and Datai are up there before we get there, and Kawara has decided that the one who led them there must be the fake, and that he's so confident in this, he's gonna shoot him before he gets the chance. The fake Kazuki pulls out 2 guns, shoots Kawara and the real Kazuki. Date tries to fire back at him and misses. It, like, glances off of his forehead.
Yeah.
But Sayama comes up the stairs after us and takes him out. So now we have a lot of people bleeding.
This moment will come into play in a few scenes.
Yeah. So Kiryu and Date carry Sayama and... No, not Sayama. Sorry, I've already forgotten who got shot. Kawara and Kazuki. We have our silly little bleeding out minigame again. Mm-hmm. And we take them to an underground doctor. And then they decide to get out of the way and head to Bacchus, where Date gives us a little bit more background on Kawara, who is a really good cop. He's like he's like so cool. He has a reputation for having a itchy trigger finger, specifically with foreign mafia members. And as soon as they would put up a fight about being arrested, he would just kill them and write it off as self-defense. Cool cop.
Cool cop. Very realistically written cop.
Yeah. It's rough.
It's rough in these streets.
Yeah, it's really, like, there's a lot of, like, police corruption bullshit that goes on in the series, but you have to spend a lot of time, like, with Kawara. It kind of sucks ass.
I can only assume he dies by the end of this. I can only hope that he dies by the end of this. We'll see.
We can only pray. After they're done talking, Sayama calls Kiryu because he was supposed to meet her at the doctor's office. Oops. So we go back, and Kawara is being the worst. Fucking...
As is expected of him at this point.
Honestly, yeah. He might as well go down the list. We've got xenophobia. Let's get misogyny in there. So he's, like... It's him and Sayama in the most, like, tense, awkward room I can imagine.
Why don't you... What did it... Maybe act like a woman? Maybe,
like,
shut
smoking
up!
Doesn't look good for a lady or whatever, and then he starts asking about her career, which is interesting. I wonder why he's interested in that. Anyway, some mafia guys show up to... they're trying to pick up the fake Kazuki. Unfortunately, the real Kazuki is at the doctor's, so, oops. But Kiryu knocks him down, at least. And Kawara, master of interrogation, threatens to shoot them in the head if they don't tell us who they are. And we find out that they are Jingon Mafia. I said Bacchus earlier. It's not Bacchus. It's Bantam.
Oh, God.
I wrote down both. I swapped names 3 times in my notes. The city changes too fast for me. What can I say? But we head back to Bantam, and Date, who's been hanging out there, is like, yeah, something's up with the bartender. He's doing something.
Being very fidgety.
Yeah. So Kiryu confronts him and gets attacked by a group of random Kamarochan citizens.
A bunch of shop owners who are really pissed off about you throwing guys into their window. Yeah. It's a little more serious than that, but I like to think that's part of the reason.
I think it would be deserved, yeah. But yeah, after fighting them, we find out that the barkeep had to borrow shady money to stay afloat. Because when a bunch of people died in his bar last year, it was bad for business.
No shit. Oh, for real?
Yeah. I can't imagine why. But the Sengoku family bought him out of his debt in exchange for telling them to kill Kiryu. And Kiryu's immediately like, no, I'm not. This is fine. I totally understand. I'll fix this. You're fine. I love you. Goodbye. I do love these little, I don't know, these collateral damage of previous games coming back. Is neat.
It seems to be happening a lot here in 2.
Yeah. Kiryu's wake of destruction.
Themes going on.
It's almost like there's a theme of legacy and cycles and generational. Who can say?
Who can say? Who knows?
But I like when the little guys of Kamurocho are like, hey, you doing insane shit like every year. It kind of fucks us up. But we head back to Serena, and Date is wanted for murder. Whoops. Because the cameras only saw him shooting at fake Kazuki.
Well,
whoops.
They saw his gun pointed and then the bullet come in from off screen.
Yeah.
And because cops are very good at their job, they just assumed that bullet somehow came from his gun.
It makes perfect sense.
It's perfect sense. I'm connecting the dots.
And unfortunately for Tokyo PD, that's a former cop, B, it's a civilian with a gun, which shouldn't be happening. So this looks bad all around. And they're kind of scrambling to cover that up. Kiryu assumes that the footage came from the florist, so they decide to go talk to him about it.
And he's got a cushy new job in the Millennium Building.
He does. He's got a nice new setup. He's got a fancy suit.
It's a nice new setup, but the suit, I think, is a downgrade because he doesn't get to wear his PJs to work anymore, which is a little sad.
Honestly, yeah, the robe is a serve, and the suit's kind of a coward move. I love that in their attempt to make this seem super, like, look at all of his cyber gadgets and his futuristic shit, there's like 600 screens in the floor. Those can't possibly be useful.
They can't.
There can't possibly be a purpose to that.
Who's the guy looking down at the floor screens, like keeping track of what's happening in there?
Someone just got shot.
That guy jaywalked. That's probably where
stupid shit.
That's probably what the floor
There's
screens
a floor
are
screen
for.
that's like monitoring whether his favorite cafe has extra cakes at the end of the night or whatever. We talked to the florist, and he confirms that it came from his office, but he did not submit the tape because he would not have submitted evidence as shaky as that. And he thinks that there's a rat because he's got a whole crew now. He's got a bunch of little people at desks, and one of them
looks awfully suspicious. If only we turned our head slightly. Imagine. And also, if we stopped discussing things at like a volume where everyone in the room could hear, that would probably also help. But
yeah, literally,
who am I to say anything?
That might help. While we're here, Kiryu asks the florist if he can figure out where Daigo is. But as soon as they try to look for that, the power goes out. Maybe because you're talking about it at a very loud volume in a room where you know that you have a rat. There's a whole gang of guys sabotaging the power. They're just like smacking the shit out of the transformers with wrenches.
Bang up job, literally.
Real good. 10 out of 10. So Kiryu heads down to see what's what. And what's what is fucking Hayashi.
Mr. Forehead Guy.
Mr. Forehead Guy. Making his grand reappearance. He's working for Ryuji now because everyone's decided that Ryuji's the cool new hotness and the chairman sucks.
Which you would agree with, from what I've heard, but anyway.
I would agree with. I would follow Ryuji anywhere, and that's a guarantee. So we beat the shit out of him. Head back up.
I would like to add, during the boss fight, there is like a very large pole that you can pick up, and there's a heat move that I hated.
Oh.
That I hated doing, but because he was such a, literally, pain in the ass, the entire time I was doing that boss fight, I fucking did it like 3 times on him just to finish him off. So
the heat move for like long, like staff-shaped weapons is that you shove it up their ass.
And you like kick it.
Yeah.
And like project, like fucking push them 5 feet into the air.
When I was doing...
I hate it. I don't like it.
When I first played this game, during the final boss, I was really struggling, and so I was, like, whipping out all of the weapons and shit that I had in my inventory. I did that heat move on him, a disrespectful number of times. And I'm gonna do better this time because I feel bad about it.
Oh no.
But when we get back to the florist's office, we find out that Sayama's a bit of a super hacker. She worked in, like, cyber crimes before she asked to be transferred to organized crime. So she gets everything back up, and Daigo's at Shangri-La.
Cool. Who could have seen this coming?
Who could have seen this coming? It sucks in there. It's just fucking abandoned.
I immediately, as soon as I got in there, I immediately went to the front desk and looked over at the statue, and the statue that
literally, I have a note that the first thing I did was turn around and see if the statue was still there.
The statue that Kiryu, like, punches so that he can go in.
It's still there.
Is still there, and it's still half broken. And it's very
really
funny.
Good.
And also, I think you go to the room where the hole that Majima, like, that you all, like, fall into in the floor is still there.
Yeah, the big old hole's still there.
It's a walk down memory lane. I do like Shangri-La.
No, I think it's funny, yeah. It's cute. I love, like, how much disrepair it's fallen into in, like, 1 year. Like, gang, okay.
I mean, you got all sorts of gangs hanging out in there, so maybe they're just fucking it up for fun. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. That truck must have caused some real structural instability, because there's, like, walls missing and, like, holes in the floor everywhere.
Rubble. Piles of rubble. And a medieval shield. Just conveniently placed.
Just conveniently placed right in front of the guy with the machine gun.
Incredible.
We get all the way through to find my damsel in distress, my princess in another castle.
And he's hungry.
Yeah, I love the little exchange. As Kiryu is untying him, Daigus is like, I'm fucking dying here, and Kiryu's like, what happened? What did they break? And he's like, no, I'm fucking starving. And Kiryu's like, I think you're gonna pull through. I think he's gonna be okay.
I think he's gonna be okay, guys.
It's really good. It's really cute.
It was cute. I really liked it, and I like him. I'm so endeared by this.
I like him.
This stupid man.
I also love that he immediately starts trying to apologize for the chairman getting kidnapped, and Kiryu does, like, the full parental, like, I'm not upset about that. I'm just glad you're alive.
Oh,
it's good.
It is good.
And that is our technical end of chapter 8.
Yeah.
I went on a journey.
On a very long and arduous personal journey called the Cabaret Grand Prix. And
which I did not do this time, but I have done.
It was very good. I liked it a lot. Once I got the hang of the game, there's a flow to it. I really liked it.
Yeah.
A really cute story, especially if you're familiar with the story of Zero, which I am, and I really liked, especially towards the end. So if you haven't done it, spoilers, the Majima does come back into it because the Grand Prix announcer was pulling strings behind the scenes and getting your team like reprimanded and stuff, and so that announcer guy runs off and gets arrested, and Majima steps in as announcer, and also his commentary is fucking insane, and I love it.
It's really good.
I don't know what the Japanese word for bonkers is, but I love it. But yeah, I love how catty and Yuki and Majima are at each other. I think I don't think this is a case of Majima being, like, genuinely mean or a bully to a woman. I think they're sisters and they're fucking bickering at each other. And it's
it's completely
adorable.
Mutual. I love when he's like, aren't you a little old to be a hostess? And she's like, isn't your hair stupid and your outfit stupid and you're fucking ugly and you're...
And
I'm like, damn, okay.
Like, you can tell... Because, like, Yuki was like, where did you go? You disappeared for 20 years. I thought you died. And she was, like, upset.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was going through it.
So the first time I did this, I had no idea he came back, obviously. And I nearly cried. I got really attached to the Cabaret Club when I played Zero.
I didn't get to do it.
This really got me.
I've watched other people do it. I didn't get to do it when I played Zero. But now that I know I'm going back to Zero, it's fucking happening. I'm doing that. So I'm so excited.
It's so just, like, I don't know. Something about getting to see Majima in a, like... Because he is, like, a good leader and a good manager, and when they let him out of the fucking Yakuza for 5 minutes...
When he's
not...
Really cute. When he's not in the pear wiggler...
Yeah!
He can have a good time. It's very... he generally seems to enjoy the cabaret business. And we can make analyzations about that later, but but I like that.
Yeah.
It was a good. It's a genuinely good sub story. A genuinely good side content that has a lot of good sub stories within it. And do it. It's fun. I liked it. I had a good time. And now I have to go into Majima Construction, so that'll be fun. And I think that's it.
Yeah, that will be it. We'll be back after chapter 12. I can do math.
Yes.
All right. Come back.
Hi.
Chapter 12. We're in the home stretch.
I kind of realized that after closing out 12. It's like, shit, it's almost over.
Yeah, we're getting there. So we left off saving my beautiful boy. My beautiful bouncing baby boy. I need to stop. He's 30 years old.
You kissing him on the top of his silly little head.
We get back to Serena, and Kashiwagi shows up to check on him. I thought it was really fun. I mentioned this with Kiryu last time, but Kashiwagi also does the, no, it's fine. I'm not worried about the chairman right now. I'm just glad that you're safe. Which is really funny in contrast to how he mentors Kiryu and Nishiki, which is violently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted, those are both later, Zero and Kiwami were both added later, but I wonder if in the universe where we take this all as a cohesive whole, I wonder if it's a little bit left over from having to baby him because he was the patriarch's son.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, look at him. Look at him.
He was just born.
He was just born yesterday, and look at what he has to go through.
Look at what he has. He's being treated so unfairly. So Kashiwagi tells us about Jingwon. The Dojima family is quite familiar with them because they were a threat back in the 80s, and they sent Kazuma and Shimano to fucking kill them all.
I can just wipe them out.
Swipe them out.
A great move that will have no repercussions later.
No lasting repercussions. Kazuma was against it because Kazuma's a cool, good guy. And this hit explicitly was how the Dojima and by extension the Tojo gained power, which is really morally cool and not complicated in any way. But since they come back up, I guess somebody must have survived. I can't imagine.
Who could have this been?
Who could have survived? And we definitely didn't see anyone helping any survivors get out. I'm sure it's fine. The police were kind of in on it also. Erased all records, and we're like, okay.
Which is also super cool.
Really cool! I do think it's funny that they're basically like, oh, you guys are gonna kill all those guys?
Well,
cool.
It's not on our hands anymore. That's fine.
Cross that off my to-do list. We're good. And Kashiwagi also advises us to head to Terada's funeral, which Kiryu does. Terada's not, that interesting of a character, so I have no real grief over him.
Yeah.
But
he also, with what we've been through so far, I'm not too happy with him in general as a person.
What do you mean? Terada, my good friend Terada.
I met for 5 minutes a year ago has been making waves.
But so at the funeral, Kiryu has a line that's like, it's just like after I lost Kazuma, I'm left to wonder why it was you and not me. But I guess I still have more to accomplish. It really gets me. Oh, Kiryu. This will keep happening. Oh, Kiryu, your survivor's guilt. Oh, it's gonna get you.
It's going to keep getting you.
It's gonna get worse a lot of times before it gets better. Thumbs up.
Oh. By the way, this is my first time playing these games.
Well, I mean,
so this is fun for me to hear.
You know that the's 6 more games and he's still alive through them, so brother, he's gonna keep surviving. the Go-Ryu come and crash the funeral, which I love. So a bunch of boys come out first and you have a big fight, and then Ryuji shows up to be like, hey, funerals are sacred. I'm sorry about my boys. Don't worry. I can't control. What are you gonna do? Yeah. Boys will be boys. But I promise I'm not here to start a fight. He is here to kick Daigo in the stomach again.
I don't know whose credit, honestly, but Daigo did throw the first punch, and I do want to point out, when that scene happened, for context, 3 of us are playing this game together. Me, Kenzie, friend of the show, and we're all playing this together. We're all kind of at different places, but each time we get to the scene, we all have the same fucking reaction, which is Daigo throws the punch at Ryuji, and we all just say, Daigo.
Maybe this will work.
Will it? Does it ever? No. No.
I keep thinking back to the first time you fight Ryuji, where Kiryu's like, well, that wasn't an even fight because you fought Daigo first, and he's really strong.
Oh, God. Is he? I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Look, I love him. He's awesome. I think he's very funny.
No,
I have yet to see him be strong.
He deserves some mockery. He can take
a little bit. But he throws the punch and then immediately gets kicked in the stomach and is back laying on the floor.
He falls down and rolls away.
He spends most of the game that I have seen so far on the floor writhing in pain, and it's been... And once again, I love this character.
Such
but oh my
damsel
God,
in distress. It's so funny. It's so great. Funny.
I love him. Kiss him on his stupid little head.
Speaking of Daigo getting owned.
Oh, okay.
Yayoi takes a shot at Ryuji about how he's disappointed his father. And in the middle of this, monologue she's giving him, she drops a line about, parents are supposed to love their children no matter how far they fall. And the camera pans over to Daigo. Which, is very sweet, but is also
I thought it was sweet. I thought it was a nice little,
I do think
she loves
sweet.
Her son.
No,
she just kind of fucking owned him a little bit on that, but okay.
He's earned it. He needs a little.
If anybody's going to tell him,
he can get a little rising from his mom.
I was about to say, if anybody should probably say something to him about it, it should probably be his mom.
But Ryuji drops that he's not actually the chairman's biological son, and they have no love between them. Rough.
Bad.
L. Sucks to be you. Ryuji's so fun in this scene.
He is.
I don't know. He's fun in every scene he's in. I'm obsessed with him.
I do kind of get excited every time I actually get to see a scene with him or be in a scene with him. It's because I know he's gonna say something fun or good or interesting. I do think this has been one of the coolest antagonists we've gotten so far. He
was already pretty high up on my faves. He's climbing further as we replay it. But he gives Kiryu the ultimatum that he'll give them 3 days for mourning before he resumes his attack. Unfortunately, Son Goku has no such qualms, and he is already fucking here.
Oh yeah, he's already hitting Kamurocho.
And we get that... Is this when there's that gnarly fucking couple of scenes?
Oh, yeah.
I think it is. But there's the elevator bit. Yeah, there's just some
I remember those scenes happening. They were really gnarly, and they were actually pretty shocking. Some of the bloodiest I've seen in Yakuza thus far. Because I am mentally about 5 years old. Uh-huh. The elevator part happens, the elevator opens, and the guys get, shot up. And all I can see with all the blood everywhere, I'm like, oh... Pasta sauce.
It's very pasta sauce-esque, yeah.
It looks like pasta sauce.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of, extreme violence on screen for as much as this series is what it is.
At least not a lot of bloody violence.
Yeah, when they veer into it, it's kind of like, oh god, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I think that works to the strengths to its strength, because it actually gets to shock you when it does happen.
Yeah, for sure. The rest of Son Goku's men run into Majima in the street, who apparently just handles it. I
don't think it's Majima's men. It's just Majima.
It's just Majima. There is no indication that the rest of his men show up for this, which also...
I'm sure they probably did, but, like, all we see is just Majima taking on, like, a whole fucking, like, army of men.
Honestly, I could see a world where, like, Kiryu asked Majima to come back to the Tojo, or come back and help them. I can see a world where Majima's men, a lot of them are probably formerly of his family. He just doesn't want to force them back into it. Like, he's like, no, they have, like, an honest job now. I'll go fucking beat these guys up, but I'm not bringing my boys back into this.
And, I mean, I think he could do it, because we've been him in Zero. We've done the whole fighting an army of men.
Oh, yeah.
From his point of view.
He can handle it.
He can handle it. And then we find him.
It handles most of it. Yeah. He handles it for a while. He hits a limit. Fucking... I don't know. This is a scene that has been screen capped and gifted to death, but him dying in Kiryu's arms still gets me.
I really like the Kiryu cradling him in his arms and him being like, I kept my promise. Don't worry about it. You gotta go do what you gotta go do. And I think someone at Sega realized, oh, this is getting way too gay.
Tagging the woman. Tagging the woman.
Tagging the woman. And then Sayama takes care of him. He's like, oh, you're pretty hot up close.
There it
like,
is. We fixed it. Toss a bucket of water on it. We're good.
Like, anybody believes it, but okay.
So he tells Kiryu that this was all a ploy to get Kiryu away from HQ, and that he needs to get back there. And that Shindo, our Nishikiyama patriarch, was a rat for the Yomi all along.
Who could have seen this coming?
And when we get back, he's getting real comfy in headquarters. Real uncomfortably comfy. Real.
He's comfy. Everybody else is super uncomfortable.
Yeah. Fucking, my friend referred to him as Mr. MILF Hunter the other day, and it's really been in my head. He's got a thing for Yayoi, and I mean, there's no faulting taste, but the lady don't want you.
The lady don't want you.
I wish that she wasn't so uber devoted to her dead, cheating, shitty husband, but, you know, it's 2006, and we're writing women.
Or he has taste, but she certainly... has questionable taste.
This is another scene that is very much written in a pre-Kiwami world, because Shindo telling Kiryu, like, what do you mean this is stupid? Didn't you and Nishikiyama go to war over a woman last year? Is like,
I don't think it was
guess,
really...
I guess.
If you want to, like, boil it down a bit, but I think there were a lot of other elements in that whole situation. There was a lot going on.
More going on, but I'm sure.
Probably from, like, the outside looking in, that's probably what it looked like.
I mean, from the perspective of a person who's loyal to Nishiki and thought that he was, like, super cool and a great leader. Yeah, I guess it would just come down to the woman. We got a big ol' multi-stage, multi-location boss fight with Shindo.
Hilarious, too. Because every time you beat his ass, he runs away to another location, then you have to beat his ass again. The last fight was cool, though, because Yayoi brings you a sword to do a cool, like...
That was fun.
Katana fight with him, and that was pretty sick. But if you recall, I was yelling at the screen, hey, let's not walk away from the unconscious
body.
In
this series,
well, that's a bad idea.
People in this series
it's always a bad idea.
Love to leave an unconscious man next to a gun. It's their favorite thing to do. So yeah, Kiryu knocks him out, and as they're sort of recovering, he tries to shoot at Kiryu or Yayoi?
It was Yayoi and missed, and then I think Daigo?
Daigo dives for the other gun on the ground and fucking takes him out.
Also, to introduce our newest friend of the show, Cutscene Gun.
Cutscene Gun. I love Cutscene Gun.
Cutscene Gun, our newest friend of the show that we should keep in mind for the rest of the series, probably.
Yeah!
Shout out to my boy.
So we get a Daigo epic moment to round out the chapter.
We do get, like, Daigo's first epic moment, and that was pretty cool.
He gets a win. I love, because he shoots at Shindo a couple times, and Kiryu, like, puts a hand on the gun and is like, okay.
It stopped being cool, like,
you got
a couple of shots ago.
We're good.
You gotta stop.
Breathe. And we get a cut to the police real quick, where Date's reading about the Tojo wiping out the Jingwon. Kuwara shows up to kind of razz him a bit, and also to turn in his badge, because he's decided he's going rogue on this one. Which is really cool, because Kuwara makes, he made such rash and reasonable decisions when he was on the Force.
I'm glad you took enough notes on this one, because every time I go to the police station, I kind of check out.
That's fair. I don't remember at what point. It would have been a lot earlier than this. There was a point playing this game the first time where I messaged my friend who introduced me to the series, and I said, when do I get to stop hanging out with cops and having to care about their drama? And she said, Yakuza 3. And I said, fuck.
Great.
It was like, I think I messaged
We're almost there, buddy.
It was like chapter 4 or 5. Like, it was early.
We're almost there, buddy.
It's like, bro. So Kiryu decides to follow Ryuji to Kansai, but before we leave, he runs into the florist's son, who's with a new girl, not the one he ran away with.
After all that fucking work.
He convinces Kiryu to hear him out, and he's like, I've been trying to hold down a job and just can't find a way to support them both, and she's been meeting with a man.
And instead of talking about it, I get to go on benders now.
Yeah! I don't know if there's been any before this point, but I feel like there's multiple sub-stories that have the bit of, like, she's meeting another man, and it's her dad. It's always her dad. That's the answer. This happens with one of the hostesses. It's always her dad.
It happened in the Cabaret Grand Prix as like a funny little side story. Maybe we should start asking and talking to our women.
Maybe we should talk to our girlfriends. Imagine this. He wants to, instead of talking to his women, he's heard about this information broker, the florist, and he would really love
who could that be?
To meet with him.
What a mysterious figure. Kira, you must know him, right?
Investigated. You must know him, right, Kiryu? And so Kiryu goes to the florist, who's like, I'll meet him, but I'm not as his father. Like, I'm not telling him that he's my son, but I'll give him the information. And he does, and it's her dad, and who cares? But I do, because he leaves, but the kid asks if he can find out information on his dad next. And the florist's like, you can't afford me. Come back when you have a job and you can support your girl and whatever. I don't know, a cute little send-off.
I think so. It was a good way for kind of him to make peace with it about his kid.
Yeah.
Again, but also I do like how this went. It was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's funny that, like, because this is very clearly another, similar to the 1-in-1, where it's like, here's another thematic thing about a dad and about running away from your problems and about hiding information from the people you love. But it's just funny that it resolves this way, because it's like, you don't learn, it's not Kiryu learning a lesson about why hiding things is bad or why lying to the people you love is bad. He just does it, and then we move on. There's no repercussions. It'll be fine. Kiryu kind of gives him shit for it, but that's about it. So we head back to Serena. Sayama wants to go back. I haven't said the chief's name, and I don't know why. The Osakan police chief. His name's Besho. Uh-huh. They say it. I just haven't put him in my notes.
I mean, he's kind of been in here for a total of 5 minutes so far.
Yeah, but she wants to go meet with him because he knew about the Jingwon and didn't tell her about it. And Kiryu's like, that's cool, I'm gonna do my own thing. And Sayama pulls a gun on him and is like, actually, you're in my custody, so you're gonna come with me. We're done with this cutesy bullshit.
And Kiryu's like, well,
was worth a shot.
Might as well.
All right. So they go to the Osaka Police Department and ask him about it. He's basically like, why would I have told you about a confidential secret scandal in the police office or the police department. Like, duh. Sorry. But he does point us to one of these survivors who he helped sort of get away and find a new life. I think this is where they talk about, like, the Jingwon have a creed of the worst thing you can do is betray them. You do not.
Yeah.
You would rather die than desert them. So this survivor is, like, in hiding because if they found him.
It's basically like a blood pact sort of situation.
Yeah. Yeah. A death before dishonor thing. And he also tells Sayama that she's off the case, which goes about as well as you'd expect.
We are definitely going to listen to those instructions and not get involved anymore now, right?
We will not. We will leave this case alone. Thumbs up. So she goes out drinking and pouting, and we catch up to her by the river. And this is the point where I went, oh God, this is supposed to be a romance. Hang on. Oh
God,
okay.
No. Yeah, no, this whole fucking sequence I hated.
It's so,
had such a bad time. I think this is another one where it's like, this started up, I saw where this was going, and then I just checked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like cute, good for them, I guess. But like
it's ham-fisted. It doesn't feel
It is.
fitting.
It comes way out of nowhere. And it's like they do my like least favorite thing you can do with a female character, which is the like, oh, I'm so strong that nobody sees me as a woman, but secretly I just want someone to see through my tough exterior and hold me because I'm fragile.
I think Kiryu said something about like, you're strong or something, but you're also a woman. I'm like, that's not mutually exclusive, my man. You know this.
Yeah.
And it's very 2006 rating in here, but
yeah, there are some people who are really ride or die for this relationship, and I Godspeed to them, but it does nothing for me.
I'm not vehemently against it.
Yeah.
I just wish it was if they wanted to do it. Yeah, I wish it was done better.
Yeah, I do. I think it's funny that nothing really he doesn't do anything with it, but the end of this conversation is she's trying to go back inside and like sleep before the morning, and Kiryu's like basically is like, you trust me now, right? So you'll let me out of your sight, right? And he doesn't like go do anything.
Yeah, I think literally you just go and it's a run around the town until you're ready.
Yeah, it's just a run around and do nothing, but it's just him just like testing that leash for no reason. But yeah, so after that cutscene ends, we get another time to kill some time. I don't know if you've done this yet. I went and did karaoke with Majima. Have you invited Majima to karaoke?
I think I did that the minute I did that like way before this point. I did that the minute it was available to me.
They're crazy.
They're so crazy for that.
They're out of their minds for Majima's song. And I completely...
It's back to back, like, bricks to your head. It's great.
I had completely forgotten about... I have a, like, playlist of a bunch of Yakuza OST stuff, including a lot of the karaoke that I listen to on shuffle at work sometimes. And I had completely forgotten that song, and it came on while I was at work. And I was like... It's
a bit of a wild one.
When did Majima have a ballad? What's happening? What game was this?
Yeah. I love how every karaoke song so far has hurt me. Has just hurt me so deeply every time. I get so excited when more karaoke songs update, or like somebody's like, oh yeah, that character available to you now, you should go do karaoke. And every fucking time it hurts me. I'm scared of going to the karaoke now.
This one's funny to me also because I don't know where this information came from, but I think it's just like I'm sure it was in an interview at some point, but it just gets passed around. Majima's voice actor hates singing, which is why most of Majima's songs are, like, insane and, like, weirdly off-key and whatever, and screamy. So every time they force him to do, like, a sweet, nice song, I'm like, you had to blackmail that man.
24 Hour Cinderella, still a banger. I get it.
He is a good singer. But I respect the grind.
Whatever blackmail they had to get on him for 24 Hour Cinderella was absolutely worth it.
Absolutely. I almost... So if the Spotify Wrapped period had gone like 2 days longer last year, 24 Hour Cinderella would have been my number one song, because I had to... I had a 2-hour drive home when it was dark and I was falling asleep. So I put on 24 Hour Cinderella and blasted it on repeat for 40 minutes.
You made your car into a torture chamber.
I did. And it kept me awake.
It's like Saga was right there with you.
It's like he was there holding my hand. Oh, I miss him. I miss him so bad. Anyway.
I know you do.
Anyway.
Oh, okay.
As Kiryu's wandering around, we also run into a tattoo side quest.
Oh, yeah. Tattoo lore.
Yeah. Another little, like, sub-story-esque but thematic exploration shindig. You know the drill. Yeah, so we find out that we run into the master tattooist of Sotenbori, who is having a inheritance issue.
He's about to completely get rid of a dragon design and throw it into the river before Kiryu stops him.
Yeah, he has 2 apprentices, one of which is a boy he's like skilled, but he doesn't get it. Get it.
Doesn't understand the art.
And then the girl who he wants to pass it down to.
The boy didn't want her to take it on because she's much younger, and also there's misogyny in there somewhere, too. And I think she wasn't telling us why she didn't want to take it on, other than... No, she didn't want to tell us why. And I think the deal was Kiryu goes and finds the design that got stolen. Yeah. And if he does, she'll reveal to us why.
So we get it. But I was trying to find the lore on the golden dragon. I don't think it's specifically said in the game, but something I read mentioned that it rules over the other dragons or something. Like, so it was specifically is like a reference to the fact that he needs to surpass Kiryu. Mm-hmm. Because it is a dragon that has surpassed the other. But yeah, so we find the design, convince her to... Yeah, and so she talks about how, like, she finished scared because she finished the dragon that's on Ryuji, and then he went on to be awful and do all of his shit. He did nothing wrong. I don't know what she's talking about. But so Kiryu talks about, like, their job is to just imbue the person with the art, and what they choose to do with that power is kind of out of their hands, and that she should want to continue and see it through rather than running away from what she started, which is almost like a theme of this game or something. It's almost...
Yeah. LOL, thinking about Nishiki's carp from before.
Yeah.
Your ass is not getting over the waterfall.
But yeah, so Kiryu talks her into taking on, or accepting the role. I do think it's a little funny. I understand, like, culturally and within context, obviously, but it's a little funny to listen to all this, like, tattoos are a reflection of your soul, and you can't give one to someone if you don't understand what you're doing to them and what you're imbuing them with.
They affect who you are.
I have a mouse and a pickle car on my ankle, and I have a horse from Harvest Moon on my other ankle.
I'm currently in the middle of trying to get a baby Godzilla on my body somewhere. So, they are reflections of your soul and who you are.
So it's correct. And
it's all correct. It's true.
It all tracks. So the next morning, we go and meet Sayama, and she confesses that she thinks that she might be one of the survivors of the Jingwon massacre, because the dates kind of line up. If her parents had died there, and she was the baby. That all checks out. It
is an interesting theory. I'm still in the dark on that. I kind of, looking at the baby when we started the game, my first assumption was that it was a boy, so I didn't, I was like, oh, was it? Maybe not? I don't know anymore. I have no idea where this is going, or what's going to happen, but let's see. Interesting theory. You know everything. And you are watching me squirm. And stumble around in the dark like a dumb baby.
Tee. The second I walked away with Sayama in tow, I ran into the
I did
BL
too,
voice
by the
acting
way.
sub-story.
I think we both ran into a bunch of different substories at the same... Because if we took the same path, I also ran into the purple-haired granny, so that was fun.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, the BL sub-story was... I hope that haunts him
God
forever.
bless.
I hope that sub-story haunts him forever.
I love the bit.
I hope when he's 60 and that game is like a beloved classic amongst gay people, I hope that shit haunts him forever.
I love the bit where he's like, there can't possibly be an audience for this. Who would buy this? And they're like, nah, dude, there's lines around the block.
Yep.
So we have to do a whole song and dance series of puzzles and bullshit to get in to see Mirai, the survivor.
But you don't. We can just skip to the part where we find him.
I will say my one little fun fact. So this was originally, in the original game, we get a third location in this part. And it's just like one street, and you never go back to it except for this chapter. There was a whole nother sort of city that happened here that they just took out for Kiwami and put it back in Sotenbori.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, weird little cut. My next bullet point is stop pulling out your fucking badge. I can't take you anywhere. Because as soon as we get into this like secret little shogi parlor, she starts flashing her badge at people. I can't take you anywhere.
Broadcasting, hey, everyone that's doing illegal bullshit in here. I am a cop. Know that I am a cop. Please know that I am a cop.
So Mirai admits that there was a child among them who got out, but he echoes the sentiment that she'd be happier not knowing, which she's not interested in hearing. We get from him that there were 3 survivors with him, so there were 3 like adult survivors, as well as the boss's wife and child. But when people came after him, he sold out the wife and child and got the wife killed.
Whoops.
Oops. I guess not oops. It was very intentional.
Yeah.
Oops. But some Jingwon men have followed us here.
They all have very fancy, big, chunky rings on.
That's so
I wonder
wild.
what that's about.
So after Kiryu beats them, they all have cyanide or some similar substance in their rings that they all kill themselves, which is another gnarly scene, by the way.
A little bit, yeah. One of them does get Mirai with a knife in the gut.
He tells Sayama, like, I'll find your mother and I'll tell her daughter grew up to be a lovely young lady or something to that effect, and then he wrenches the knife in deeper.
Meanwhile, we're still not even sure if that shit is a certain, but okay.
For sure. It's a lovely sentiment. Oh, and also during this conversation, Mirai says that the one who killed them all had a mustache.
And immediately we know who that is.
Shit.
The one and only man with a mustache in the entire game.
Well, and Kiryu knows for sure because Kiryu was there.
Oh, shit. And then we have a flashback, and this is where I lost my mind.
I had completely forgotten about this whole plot beat, so I was also losing my mind a little bit.
Every time, when we were playing Zero, every time I would open it up, I'd be like, oh, little baby Kiryu, look how small he is.
If only you knew.
If only I had known. Now we're having a flashback, and he's even smaller.
He's even smaller.
I didn't know he could be so fucking small.
You didn't know.
He's so tiny.
He could be smaller. Yeah, so when Kazuma went to the raid, Kiryu felt like he was acting weirdly, and so he followed him. So Kazuma planned to defy his orders and let them go. Just tell them to fuck off and we'll never see you again and you'll be fine. But Kiryu did not hear this conversation and saw a guy pointing a gun at Kazuma.
And thought, I'm a child. I'll intervene.
It's, oh, Kiryu, your track record of trying to protect people you love and watching the consequences be worse.
This is where it starts. This is where it started.
This also really reframes the bit at the beginning of 1 where you get the call that Yubi and Nishiki are in danger, and Kazuma says, like, do not go running in there. Let me handle it because you're going to make it worse if you go running in there.
And that's how we got Kiwami 1.
And that's how Kiryu, your syndromes, your issues.
Just can't stop.
So he tells Sayama all of this.
And she takes it great.
Well, yeah, so he's like, so I'm responsible for your parents' death, and if you're gonna take revenge, you should take it on me. And she completely calls him on his shit. She's like, you think that would fucking help? You think that's gonna make me feel better? No. Self-sacrificial bullshit cannot fix the situation.
She stomps off, rightfully so.
Rightfully so, absolutely.
Also, want to point out, we still don't know for sure if she was the baby, but okay. We still haven't confirmed this information.
Yeah.
But okay.
But sure.
We have left Kiryu at the river front in Sonbori, and he just stays there like a statue, man.
Apparently all day, because it gets dark.
And it starts raining, pouring on top of him.
I'm not going to get into the music change in Kiwami, because this has been discussed in a million Reddit posts that have been a lot more passionate about it than me.
Yeah,
but it sucks, and the original's really good.
I will say, you did send me a link to the original, and I do prefer it. It is much better for the scene. That's all I'll say on that. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, so Kiryu gets stabbed.
In the gut, and it's pretty gross.
Oh.
I like how he does the one thing you're not supposed to do when you get a wound like that, and takes out the knife by himself immediately.
You would think he would know that, but...
You would think, but he doesn't.
Whatever.
And so, hey, you know that minigame you've been doing where you carry bleeding, dying people to locations?
Yay!
Carry your bleeding, dying self to a location.
I do. I think it's a nice touch that they give you a little bit of the drunk controls.
It is.
You do a little.
Yes, it is pretty cool. A little
bit of that. I think the drunk controls in general, as a side note, are fun. I think that they make you like just wobbly enough.
Mm-hmm. They're not annoying.
Yeah.
They just feel correct for what they're trying to simulate, and it's pretty good.
But yes, so you get a little bit of the swaying back and forth, which also makes it easier to run into people and lose more health. Mm-hmm. It works. We get back to Aoi. The mom is talking to Kawara, who came to check on Sayama. That's weird. Anyway. This is we cut to Sengoku and all three of the Omi leaders actually talking. And Sengoku's like, well, I've got this in the fucking bag, because I took the girl.
Our daughter's been kidnapped again.
Again.
And I think that was like the one worst thing you could probably do.
Yeah, not a smart move.
No.
Even in this initial cutscene, Ryuji's like, man, whatever. Like that's some pussy shit. I'm gonna fight him for real. Good luck with that. So along with the stabbing, whoever Sengoku hired left Kiryu a note that they have Haruka.
We have your precious daughter, or something. I think that's what it said. Or your precious child. Something
like that, yeah. And we get a little bit of a runaround again. Where, like, every con artist we've run into so far, like the guy who got us into the Grand sold us out, and then the Mahjong guy we had to talk to earlier also shows back up.
I will say the Grand guy, his fight was funny just because it was by the river, so I just kept throwing him and his guns into the river.
In the river. It's good.
It's just into the soup with you, into the soup with you, into the soup with you.
It
was a good time.
I really enjoyed the Mahjong guy being like, Kiryu, Sengoku's gonna fucking kill me if you don't help me. Like, I know you don't like me, but like, give me one more chance or I'm gonna die. This is like, I will die. And Kiryu's like, do I care?
Kiryu doesn't kill people, but he lets other people kill people. And I think in this instance, it's correct. His kid has been kidnapped. Fuck you, go die.
Man,
I'll throw you into the river myself.
None of my business. But he, or someone else, I don't remember, whoever was the last in the chain, directs us to Osaka Castle, which is a hell of a set piece.
I remember saying nothing could get any more ridiculous than the river Styx thing in Zero.
Wrong.
Wrong. Incorrect. Osaka Castle kind of beat that one. Though, both things are in Osaka, so I think it just has something to do with it being in Osaka.
This city is,
This city is fucked up, and I love it.
But yeah, so Osaka Castle splits open and a second golden castle rises from the ground full of traps and ninjas.
Did you see the ninjas?
And I did see the ninjas.
Did you see the fucking ninjas everywhere? It's crazy.
And the tigers.
It's about to get even crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking... Okay, so it culminates to the tiger boss fight. And I think... I was so excited the minute I heard growling. I was like, oh, it's time. Oh my god. What a fucking fight.
It's good. It's some good shit. I will say, the tigers with the dragon engine get a little fucking silly. I was getting knocked around like you
I was too. I think you're supposed to pick up the spears that are laying around because
I tried, man.
They are rough.
Brother, I tried.
And there's something so funny about the idea of Sengoku and Haruka, mostly Sengoku watching in horror as Kiryu just fucking beats the shit out of two giant tigers, man.
Handles it.
And you can see him when he sees that. He's like running away with the kid, like, fuck. Why are you running away with the kid, by the way, after you saw that?
Yeah.
Do you think this is gonna end good for you in any way?
Yeah.
Do you think he's not just gonna continue to handle it after that?
Yeah, Sengoku is one of our classic Yakuza villains who's not even good enough to get a boss fight.
No.
Because when we finally corner him, Ryuji shows up and takes care of that for us.
Yeah, I really thought it was interesting when he said kidnapping a child is way too low, and, then kills him.
So he gives Haruka back to Kiryu and is like, you've got 2 more days, like, my fucking rules still stand. I think that he's a really interesting contrast to Nishiki, because Nishiki was so, like...
underhanded the entire time.
Yeah, Nishiki was a cornered animal.
He was.
Like,
he was a cornered animal, he's
he
very
was
underhanded,
desperate.
and he was very much pushing his weight around and peacocking a lot with what
like, he put Haruka in danger repeatedly, where, like, Ryuji is... It doesn't have that, like, a desperate edge. Like, he's not going to be put down like a dog the second he flubs something. So he can, like, put on these airs of respect. And I think part of it, too, is, like, Nishiki had something to prove to everyone else because he needed to prove himself to everyone else to survive, where Ryuji's trying to prove something to himself. So he kind of has these, like, I need to beat you in a fair fight with honorable rules where it doesn't count because I know that I'm good enough to do that.
I just need that confirmation. I need to know that. That's why I really like him as a villain. I'm very fascinated. So far.
I think he's fun. I like him a lot. Smiley face.
He's cool.
But after he leaves, Sayama swoops in and helps us get Haruka back out. And
also Kiryu's wound opened at some point.
Yeah, also Kiryu's
so unsurprisingly.
I'm surprised it went as well as it did.
I also really like Sayama shows up asking her immediately, hey Sayama, did you see the fucking ninjas on your way here?
Did you see the fucking ninjas?
Did you see the 2 tigers I knocked out earlier? That was wild.
Did you see
You should have been here.
It's wild. Also following is Kawara. What is his fucking deal?
What is your deal? I don't know. I really certainly don't know.
What's his deal? Who knows?
You, actually.
Who can say?
You could, but that would spoil the fun.
You'll find out next time, because next time we are... finishing. Finale. We've done it. We've done it again.
How many times?
8 plus 0.
Oh, God.
Plus Gaiden, plus however many spin-offs we decide to do. Don't worry about it. Stop counting.
Okay.
Stop doing the math.
That's fine.
The math doesn't work out in our favor.
I'm still feeling a little steamrolled, so how about you hold my hand, and where do we leave off?
We left off, we had just gotten out of the Golden Castle.
Daddy-daughter date time.
Yeah! Well, yeah, we didn't know that before, but we got back to Aoi, and the mama had left Sayama a note saying, her father is still alive, don't be mad at Kiryu. Whoa, I wonder who her father is.
I wonder.
I was just gonna say, when I played the first time, I think I didn't care about either of them enough to make that logical leap, Because playing it a second time, I was like, oh, they're, like, not subtle about that one.
Yeah.
It's just like, this guy keeps showing up.
So, I also didn't care about them, but I was kind of making the suspicions of, well, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's what they went with. But also, this game's pretty wild. And maybe there's something else happening.
Anything, yeah.
It could be anything. I don't fucking know, but that's possible.
I play so many, like, mystery type games, and notoriously never try to solve the mystery. Like, I am 100% along for the ride every time.
Yeah.
And so my friend will message me like, hey, have you figured out, like, do you have a guess at what the answer to this is? And I'm like, no.
I will say,
no.
A completely different game. Super off topic. Watching you play AI The Somnium Files was fucking hilarious for me and another friend of the show, because the entire time you were streaming, we were fucking DMing each other like, they're so close. Oh my god, they're so close. They're like saying shit. They're almost there. They're almost hitting the target, but they're like an inch off to the left.
But sometimes I get there. But before we get to solving all that, we have a little Kiryu and Haruka moment. Mm-hmm. He decides to take her out on the town again, and they run into a talent agent who thinks that Haruka could be the next big star.
Yay!
I love that the first thing she says when he grabs her is, "Who are you and what do you want from me?" That's my fucking girl.
I also love that because I know for a fact Kiryu taught her that.
Oh yeah, Kiryu had to have sat down at some point and been like, here's the routine for if someone approaches you on the street.
And once, like, he compliments you, it's not because you're not pretty, and it's not because you're not smart, it's because usually they want something.
It's really good. She has absolutely no interest in any of this shit, but Kiryu decides to hear him out, and he promises, like, an education, and he'll keep her safe. Which is exactly what he needs to say to trip Kiryu's guilt complex and make him decide it's a good idea.
I hate how that conversation goes, because I was choosing all the dialogue options where it was like, oh, let me think about this. Oh, let me get Haruka's opinion on this. And every time the game says, like, no, fuck you, sign the contract.
This is a series about being trapped inside Kiryu.
It's like, Kiryu, no, do the right thing, do the correct thing.
It's such a, this happens every time I'm mad at Kiryu, where, like, no matter how pissed off I am at him, I always get it. Like, I'm always like, yeah, you're not gonna do anything different, and I know that, but I'm still gonna be a little pissed off.
A little grumpy about it.
But he's interrupted from signing the contract because he left Haruka outside, and she got
also great idea. Why are we still the child that was just kidnapped maybe like a few hours ago? Let's go ahead and leave her outside of the building.
Like, okay. The Kiryu goes to, they're like rival agents, and Kiryu goes and thrashes them. But Haruka overhears the agent say that Kiryu was about to sign a contract with him, so she's onto us. This whole scene is devastating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the one giving you reasons to be scared all the time, and her saying, I'm not ever scared when I'm with
Jesus.
you.
When you lay it out again, the pit in my stomach fucking clenches.
Yeah, and she tells him if he were to sign this contract and send her away, she would just run away and find him again, which I fully believe that she would.
I hate that she starts out as like, you're leaving me, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. She opened, like, for as much as I can justify Kiryu's point of view on it, her immediate response is, you're abandoning me. Hey, do you think this game has a theme of trying to protect the people you love by pushing them away and it not working out?
Boy,
anyway,
does it. Does it? I can't tell. Help me. I'm so media illiterate. I cannot tell.
But so in their stroll around town, they end up running into a waitress who likes to sing, and have the talent agent sign her instead. Good for her. They do. If you talk to Haruka a little bit later in Serena, she'll hand over a newspaper and be like, hey, that singer made her debut. It's really
I did get
cute.
that. I was very happy about that. Before we move on to the next story, I would like to talk about my descent into madness around this part.
Oh, yeah! I completely forgot about the golf!
I would like to talk about...
You had a golf incident.
I would like to talk about my struggles for a moment. So during this whole traipsing around Sotenbori, you can also do little requests that Haruka says, like, on the side. Like, she wants to go eat sushi, or she wants to go to Sega and play a game. For me, one of the first and only things she asked to do was for me to go to the golfing center and complete the bingo challenge.
And how did that go for you?
Fucking bad. Really? Really fucking bad, dude. I don't know why.
What happened, buddy?
I don't know why. I'm so bad. Alright. No, I got really good at it to a certain extent. I did! I could knock all... Okay. For anybody who doesn't know what the fucking bingo challenge is, it is golf, but you hit this, like, grid of 3x3, and you have to hit all 9 of them to satisfy Haruka's request.
Her bloodlust.
Her bloodlust could never be satisfied. I struggled for like the first 30 minutes, and then I got to a really good rhythm to where I could knock down all but one. And even like an hour and a half later, I couldn't knock down that last one. I could always... you were only allowed one mistake because you were only given 10 fucking turns.
Yeah.
And I just... I think I wanted to go drown in the Sotenbori River.
Do you want to share with the class how many tries it took me?
No, I don't. I really would like to just move on, actually.
The answer is 3.
No, I just want to talk about my struggles. I don't want to talk about your victories.
I'm so sorry that I'm good at golf. I'll try to be better.
Try to be worse, please.
I'll try to be better by being worse.
Thank you.
Anytime.
That's all I ask.
It's a simple request. She requested that I play the fucking, I'm blanking on the name of it, the like mech pilot game that I attempted once, and then I said, Haruka, I don't love you that much, and I left. So that was my experience.
Yeah. You and our friend of the show, I think we're fucking having a hard time.
Yeah, no, like, arcade game sucks ass. All the they're all, like, legitimate classic Sega games, so they have all the difficulty that a classic arcade game entails.
Yeah, I think Sega needs to start putting Monkey Ball and Sonic the Hedgehog in these games instead, actually.
Put Monkey Ball in Yakuza, I'm no longer asking. I'm so serious.
Not kidding.
We have lost the plot.
We need to get back onto the plot.
No,
one
please.
last little tack on my thing. I still haven't completed the bingo challenge, and I don't think I ever will.
Fair.
I think that's just
I think that's something you can just accept about yourself.
I'm bad at golf, and, that's all there is to it. Next part.
So we get a call from Kurahashi, who I said earlier in the podcast I didn't remember his part in the plot. I've remembered it now. He drops that he's one of the Jingwon survivors and that he has Date held hostage. And he's using him as bait to draw all the guilty parties in so that he can get his revenge on everyone involved in the death of his men. So Kiryu and Sayama head to the tower, and also Kawara and the mama separately. We get this bit where Kiryu falls asleep in the car, so Haruka and Sayama get to have the only conversation they have.
Also very cute to see Kiryu asleep. Apparently, in the original, he had his head in her lap.
Yeah.
To reflect what happened in the first. As like a reflection of it, swapping. And I'm so mad that they changed that. And for why?
I don't know.
That would have been cute.
I do, like... So I'm of two minds on this, because Haruka tells Sayama, like, he must really like you because he acts around you like he does around me, where he can be himself. Like, just be a person instead of having to be the Dragon of Dojima or whatever. Which is a very cute sentiment. I don't know that it's true. I get he's a little less guarded around her.
I'll give him less, that. But not... I don't think enough to warrant this particular conversation, I guess, but I understand Sega was really trying to push that romance.
I was gonna say that he still has walls up around her, but you could argue he still has walls up around Haruka. So maybe it all evens out.
That's true.
Oh well. They get to the tower and the florist office where Kurahashi has a date and a bomb.
Oh, things are dire.
Kawara rushes in pretty quickly after us and is like, he's known this all along. He's been monitoring Kurahashi. Kurahashi lets slip that Kawara, not he, is Sayama's father. And he had her with the boss's wife after he helped her escape the raid.
Oh, then who was the baby at the start of the game?
But then who was the other baby?
Who was it?
While they're distracted having this emotional moment, he shoots the fuck out of Kawara. Everyone who gets shot in this game gets shot like 7
They turn these people into Swiss fucking cheese.
They get riddled with bullets.
Everyone. Boys, every time.
Every time. And then we get there's a couple gun bosses in this whole final couple of chapters, and all of them suck.
I didn't have to worry about that because I had so many spears left over from the tiger fight in my inventory.
So true.
I had such an easy time, buddy.
That's so funny.
I kicked his ass so quickly.
The
weapons in this game are fucking broken as hell.
Oh yeah, they're busted. It's wild.
I love it. It's like, I don't have to learn combos. Sword.
I don't know shit. I have a sword. So after the fight, Kawara takes one last bullet protecting Sayama, and then
apparently this is the one that actually kills him.
This is the one that does it. Shoots the fuck out of Kurahashi back. And as he's bleeding out with his 5 bullets in him, he tells her that her mother gave up her first child because she was at rock bottom, had no one else, was kind of at a dead end. And then he helped her build a new life, and they fell in love, and they had Sayama. But while he was gone, the Jingwon found her and killed her. So he was seeking revenge, and that's why all of the immigrants he'd been killing without remorse on his police jobs were all actually the Jingwon, and so he was actually in the right the whole time.
So it was fine.
And there was no moral complexity to it.
None at all.
And it's all good, and we should let cops kill with impunity because they're probably right in the end.
Yeah. Exactly. These are the lessons we should be taking away from this.
This is a good
message.
Good. Thumbs up. But if he killed them all, then they would never be able to find Sayama, was the end goal. And he never reached out to her because he would have been pulling her back into danger.
And that ended up happening anyhow. Because of the phone call.
Well, because it turns out when you hide someone's whole family from them, they try to find out what it is.
Yeah, funny how that works.
It's funny how that works. She tells him, despite everything, she's happier knowing. Cute, sure, good for them.
All right.
It's not really good for them. It's about to go very bad for them.
I mean, it is kind of funny. She does say that, and then a couple of scenes later, she's like, "I'm not sure if I actually am happier. I know now I'm a little more scared."
I do like that. I do like that. I like that kind of mirrors Kiryu's thing, where in the heat of the moment, they're both like, "No, it's fine. Whatever it is, I love you," and I'm so glad that I know whatever.
And now that they're steeping in it.
Yeah, as soon as they're alone, it's like, oh, fuck me, I have to keep living with this, and he's gone.
And there's so much to unpack.
There's so much to unpack.
That box, I would rather just put it away.
Yeah, I hate, on the flip side of the coin, I absolutely hate, he drops this, the blood running through you isn't Jingwon, it's your mother's. Between this and Ryuji doing his, I'm jumping ahead, but Ryuji doing his, I have too much of their blood in me, death would have found me. They don't contest this thought, which is, troubling.
Yeah.
It's wild because, this series so strongly embraces, found families and adopted families, and, there's never any question that Kiryu is Haruka's father. Jingu never comes up again, even, and shit like that. But as soon as it's a foreign faction who is your heritage, now it's like, well,
it's rough.
Maybe your blood is poisoned. It's rough.
It's rough. It is very early 2000s writing.
It sucks.
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna say I don't know if it gets better throughout as the series goes on.
And it takes some dips back into this. I'll say that, even in the teens. But yeah, it's frustrating because like especially this scene coming back to back after that scene with Kiryu and Haruka, where like Kiryu has a scene where he tries to send Haruka away to keep her safe, and then immediately after watches a man die in his daughter's arms because he tried to do the same thing, and it left them both with nothing. And that should be like
really
huge and haunt the rest of the series, but it doesn't, because there's so many like foundational issues with this relationship that I just like I'm not sad he died. Yeah. Sorry.
It's like, all right, bye, buddy.
Whatever.
It's fucking rough in here.
I love this series, but when it misses, woof.
Woof.
But so,
speaking of misses, we got an ending to get to soon.
We're getting there.
Oh god.
Everyone sort of reconvenes back in purgatory, and I fuss. Date saying Kawara was a good cop to the last is so funny.
Was he?
Was he? I don't think you believe that.
Hey, Date,
I don't think you believe that. You're the one who brought up all of his bullshit. Like, I think you're saying that to be nice. I don't believe you.
You're saying that to be nice because he's dead now. But he's not around. You can just say shit. You can just say he sucks. His daughter barely knew him. I don't think she's gonna care.
They bring up that we still have the mystery of who the other child is. Or they got a CD from Kurahashi that they send Sayama to hack into it. While they're talking about this, we cut to Ryuji, which isn't foreshadowing or anything.
No. This is where, like, alright, so I knew she couldn't have been that baby in the beginning. That just didn't connect for me.
They refer to it as a boy in the first scene. I didn't catch that playing through because I didn't know
if they had or not. I couldn't be for sure on that because I couldn't remember. But I was pretty sure it was a boy.
That was a good catch.
And for that reason, I had my suspicion on a different character at first. And then that was like,
who?
I didn't know. I thought Kazuki had more of a bigger role going on because they kind of discussed him at one point. Guess. And I thought, maybe, I don't know. But then that kind of went up in smoke I don't remember which point, but I was like, I don't think so anymore. And I was like, wait, the only other big character here. Got it. Understood. Yeah. And then that bit confirmed it.
Speaking of weird relationships with your father, Ryuji's rolling in with his boys, and the only thing on his mind is, I'm about to do the one thing my father couldn't do and fucking destroy the Tojo. I hope that goes well for him.
Does it?
I hope it goes well for him. Mm. So Kiryu can tell that something's bothering Sayama and decides to follow her, and they end up back at Serena again. Yeah, this is when she just cracks and is like, I am terrified to find out anything more about myself. I was so sure that this was what I needed and that I could handle it, and I do not know anymore. Which is
probably one of the very few good pieces of writing with Sayama.
No, I think this scene really works.
Oh my god, look at that. It's a person. Yeah. It's a person. It's a character with problems.
And then Kiryu kisses her and ruins it, but whatever.
Oh, yeah, and then that ruins everything. I forgot about that part, actually.
Date gives us a call that Kazuki's awake. He's relevant again. Speaking of.
Yeah.
And he is babbling some nonsense about bombs. And he tells us that there are 33, one for each of the men that they lost. There's a fucking lot of bombs, is the bottom line of the situation. So Kiryu goes to pass this information on to the Tojo clan, because they need to deal with that, and they need to be ready for the Goryu. And if they're gonna do that, then they need a leader.
Who could that be?
Guess who's relevant again?
Yay! It's the boy! And we get to see his back tattoo. Whee! Yeah. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is the Fudomio It's a Buddhist figure who is a, like, wrathful, vengeful vanquisher of evil. Specifically in the Japanese worship of it, is considered a protector of both the nation and could be a personal protector if you, like, follow him.
It's really neat. I also like that there is a dragon in his tattoo.
There sure is a dragon wrapped around his sword, which is, so it's a reference to
sick.
A story where he turned himself into a dragon to defeat a demon.
Oh.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that there's a dragon wrapped around his sword, because there's a dragon fighting for him.
I liked it. I had part of that explained to me by our friend, who didn't want me to go on the wiki page myself, because obvious reasons. So.
No, that's fair. Don't go on Daigo's wiki page, smiley face.
I will not.
Don't go on anyone's wiki page. Anyway.
I will not do this. I did it once and you all yelled at me, so I've learned my lesson.
Get out of there.
You guys slapped the phone out of my hand. Stop that.
He gives a nice little speech about how they're going to protect the city, because that's their duty. Kiryu comments that after this, no one's going to object to making Daigo chairman.
Is that true?
This is
cool.
It's true. It happens. But this is one of Kiryu's more fucked up choices, I think. I
don't think Terada was a good choice at all either, but continue.
No, Terada was a bad choice in just being stupid. Where Daigo is a good choice is like Kiryu would not make a good chairman.
Yeah.
So picking someone else is I fully agree that he should be shuffling this onto someone else. Daigo is a good person for it, and he steps up to it clearly. But just like the optics of Kiryu deciding he's gonna start his own life away from the Tojo, while simultaneously dragging someone back in, putting him in a position that he's seen 2 men die in the past 2 years. Someone who explicitly idolizes him.
Ugh.
And tells him, like, oh, this is your duty now, because you're the only person who can do it. Not my duty, though, because I'm not good enough. Is like, are you hearing yourself?
Can you see what we are seeing, sir?
It's so, like, it's the correct decision, but it's like his pragmatism comes off as borderline cruel.
A little bit.
It's rough. It doesn't, like, this isn't like a conflict that gets brought up super strongly, but it is in the back of my mind always that things are Kiryu's fault. I love you, Kiryu, but fucking hell. Anyway, that was my last Daigo speech, because he mostly is gone after this. Anyway.
And I miss him every second he's gone. I want you to know that, because the rest of the game gets rougher from here.
He's one of the few people who's in, like, every game. So, I mean, I miss him every time he leaves the room. But we'll see him again, I promise.
Okay.
So Date tried to tell the police about the bombs, but they don't give a shit about what a murder suspect says is happening. So it's kind of on us.
Oh, is it? What a surprise.
Isn't it always? The cops are useless and crazy.
Weird.
We go back to Purgatory, and luckily, Majima has preserved the florist surveillance system in an absolutely iconic scene.
Yeah, what an insane scene.
Good.
It's real. I kind of need him.
Majima just smashing his head on the desk while everyone's like, okay. Do we stop him? Okay.
Somebody grab him? And it's like, no, let him cook. Actually.
So Kiryu leaves the bombs to Daigo and his men and says that he'll take care of the Goryu, which is hilarious. The attack from the Goryu ends up manifesting as like a couple small fights, so it is totally handleable by Kiryu. But the way that everyone reacts like he single-handedly fought off an army is like, what was your plan? What was your strategy?
There were swords littered literally everywhere over Kamurocho. Like, somebody sprinkled them. Just like little treats for me. Believe me, I fucking hunted down every single little sword and katana and knife that I could fucking find on that street. Oh my god. I had a little artillery on me.
So we get, I really enjoy that the, like, common people of Kamurocho come back in this bit where they're like, you get a call from the bartender at Bantam that they're being attacked, and then from a meadow at the clinic, then from Stardust. Ryuji's finally at Stardust, but he's curious to worn down for a fair fight, so he's like, alright, I had nothing to do with the bombs. I don't give a shit about their revenge.
Yeah.
I don't want Kamurocho to burn down because I'm gonna take over. So... You solve that situation, you take your time, you rest up. I'm gonna be on top of Kamurocho Hills, and you call me when you're ready.
Really, a pretty stand-up guy in comparison to some of the other shits we've been dealing with.
You know what? Yeah.
I'll take it.
Honestly, yeah.
I do
God
genuinely really like him as a character.
I love Ryuji.
Oh, I'm so mad where this goes. I'm so mad about this.
So before we leave Stardust, Kiryu has a little talk with Yuu's kind of down on himself for letting the club get attacked. Kiryu drops the line, I'm sorry that I'm only useful in times like these. She's like, Kiryu, your syndromes. Your syndromes. The people who care about you like you even when you're not fighting for them.
They like you as a person.
He will not learn this lesson.
Oh.
He will not learn this lesson. God bless.
Maybe he'll learn it at 8. You won't tell me, but maybe he'll learn it at 8.
Maybe he'll learn it at 8. Meanwhile, Majima and Nishida are defusing the last bomb.
Oh my god.
And get
another iconic
iconic.
Hey, I think Yakuza this as a series is just about finding out where gifts come from on the internet.
Oh yeah, 2 especially has a lot. We have the desk slam, we have the bomb thing, we have the little like heart.
Oh yeah,
pose.
2 was pretty iconic. It seems
the shot of him sitting and drinking in the bar and the crowd coming in behind him is another super common one. There's so many gifts in 2.
But, yeah, Majima Nishida. Oh my god.
Nishida gets God's silliest battles. But they successfully defuse it. I do like this stupid cut.
What a weird and just out of place fake out.
It's so funny. It's literally
It's so fucking
It cuts
goofy.
to like Sayama, I guess, waking up from like a little bit of a she was dozing off and had a nightmare about the tower exploding, I guess. Is what happened. It's such a
it cuts to that moment where the tower explodes right after the second that Nishida cuts a wire, and you're like, wait, what? And then no, it's just her having a bad dream. Oh. It's like, oh. Anyway, she finds out something very interesting on the computer, and then cuts away.
Yeah, she finds out that Ryuji is her half brother.
This revelation does not happen until later, but. Yeah, that's what she finds out, basically. That's kind of where it's solidified for me. I was like, yes.
It shows the picture of Ryuji on the computer, and at that point, it's kind of what else could it fucking mean? We go right back to Kiryu, who has decided to spend one last night out on the town with Haruka. I didn't really run around with her much. I was kind of like, I need to finish this game. Sorry, Haruka.
I did one small sub-story with her, which was like the one with the guy with the host girl on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to, talk them down.
I was thinking that happened here, and I did not run into it this time.
Yeah,
I thought that was required.
Our friend was like, oh, you need to do it, not because it's good, but because these 2 keep coming up in other games. I'm like, oh.
They do come back. Yeah.
Okay. It did suck. I didn't really like it, but apparently this is a joke that will keep running, so I might as well get in on it now.
This hostess who is just scamming the fuck out of this dude, and we keep having to convince him that she's not, I guess. Which is not to this is taking it entirely too seriously, but hilarious in a game that is. Again, a huge theme of it is being honest with the people you love, because keeping secrets and things will only make it worse. And then Kiryu looks at these 2 and he looks at this guy and goes, yeah, you should stay with her.
It would be better if you just kept getting lied to, I guess.
Anyway.
But that was the only thing I did with Haruka, I took her to some restaurants, and then the minute she asked for an activity that actually required me to think, I was like,
that's enough.
All right, time to finish the game.
So we get a call from Date, who him and Sudo meet up with Kiryu, and they have yeah, this is where they explicitly say, like, yeah, Ryuji's her half-brother. And immediately after they finish talking about this, Sayama walks in. And I really enjoy how, like,
both parties are hiding it from each other.
They both know, but they both are trying to hide it from each other. And so it's, like, a little bit stilted and weird the whole time they're talking. And then Sayama pulls the most obvious gambit in the world, but Kiryu falls for it anyway. She's like, you can't go. I'm not going to let you go. I'll arrest you if you go. And then she goes, okay, fine, you can go. But first, go to the police department real quick. Besho has something super important to tell you.
And Kiryu even asks, oh, Besho's in town? And she's like, yes, of course.
Yeah, he came in town because it's super important, which is why you should definitely super go, because it's definitely important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so him and Date go, and there's nothing there except for a laptop where she's left a message.
Another iconic gif.
Yeah, the desk slam.
I walked into the room and I was like, oh, here we go.
It's here. But yeah, she's decided that she's gonna go face Ryuji and try and talk him down. Well, I'm sure that'll go great for her.
Yeah.
God bless.
Absolutely. She has such a great track record this entire game.
She has a really great track record of not getting shot or damseled, or it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I just scrolled down and saw my page and a half of notes for the finale. Anyway.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Let's fucking go! So we start off with this huge combat gauntlet all the way through Kamurocho.
It's where I picked up every single sword on the floor on the way.
There was a point in this where I got to the guys who had rocket launchers.
Mm-hmm.
And every time they hit you, you get, like, fully ragdolled, launched across the whole street.
Yeah.
Everything. There was a point in that where I was like, oh, this isn't, like, a side effect. The devs are doing this on purpose. You think this is funny. You think this is a bit.
And you die.
I'm gonna do something drastic. I was so mad. Like, they're not even hard to kill, but I just had a moment of blinding rage where I was like, oh my god. Anyway, also partway through this gauntlet, we run into the man in black for the last time. And I love that the little, like, quest text that pops up when you run into him is Kiryu saying, what organization is he with? We don't even know. This is just a guy who has beef.
I assumed it was the Jingwan, but it's...
I assumed, but apparently Kiryu's like, I don't know what this guy is.
Apparently not, because apparently he's just here to fucking...
He just has beef.
Send you texts and kick your ass.
I mean... Shit, alright.
Alright, man. Actually, no, not alright. I'm fucking sick of fighting this dude.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it. It sucks every time. So we throw him off the building, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
And here we get to the top just to fall a rock bottom.
Sayama is confronting Ryuji, and he has Jin up here also. I don't know how. I guess didn't we go up a bunch of stairs? How did he get him up here? That's a determined ass man. Ryuji is Ryuji Goda is a determined ass man.
Or maybe there was also, like, I think the elevator. He probably wrote it up, and that's why we had to.
I guess so. That makes sense.
Up.
That tracks.
Who knows?
But she tells him that they're family and that she wants to arrest him and also turn herself in. Because she just doesn't want to watch more family die. Oh.
Okay.
And fucking Jin on the sidelines is like, yeah, I knew this all along. I just didn't want to tell you. Sorry. Cool. Cool guy.
Cool.
He met their mother by chance when she was sort of at the end of her rope and took her in for a while before Kawara came back to check on her, and she ended up leaving with him. And he apparently begged her to leave Ryuji with him because he decided he felt like a real son, which is like,
all right.
Okay.
There's nothing
have
else
you
in this game
considered
that has
acting
suggested
like
that,
it?
but okay. Yeah.
The only other information we have on their relationship is that Ryuji's like, we do not have a relationship.
We do not care about each other. What happened after she left? What did you do?
What happened here? But so all of this heartfelt confession means fucking nothing to Ryuji. He's like, none of this changes the fact that I spent my whole life alone and the only thing I ever cared about was surpassing you. So thanks, but don't fucking care. And goes to have his showdown with Kiryu, who says that Ryuji reminds him of an old friend.
Oh, God.
Just for a little gut punch.
We hurt me more. That was fun.
Which is a more fair comparison than I kind of registered. Like, yeah, they're both doing the I have to rise to the top because nothing else matters at this point thing.
Also, yeah.
So I think after this first fight is what Jin says, like, oh, the reason I never told Ryuji the truth is because I was afraid that he would leave. Wait, okay. Sure. Cool guy.
Good parental skills. You really deserve to keep that child. Awesome job, dude.
But he offers to be arrested alongside them. Happy little family reunion in prison, I guess. But they're interrupted by Terada.
Oh,
Terada's alive.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I was very surprised and not at all incredibly annoyed with this plot twist.
It's like, I don't know. I was going to say it's more foreshadowed than Jingu a little bit, but I don't even know if it is.
I mean, I'm sure maybe there were some things I missed. This was my first time through.
I don't remember there being a lot of like heavy hinting that he was alive, no.
No, they bring him up a couple times, but it never felt like, oh, he's still out there, or oh, that's weird. Like, nothing in this plot felt like he needed to be alive for any of this shit to be happening. Like, I still don't understand what this amounted to.
Terada is a character who falls victim to a thing that happens to a couple characters in the Yakuza series where, like, their personality and or motivations get sidelined in favor of the plot twist that they need to serve. And so, like, they end up being a device more than a character. Yeah. And Terada's, I think, our first big example of that, where, like, at the end of it, when you try to hash out exactly what was going on in his head, you're like, I don't know, dude, I guess, sure.
We'll keep going, and then I'll keep whining. I'm sorry. This is just...
No, you're good. He's one of the Jingwon survivors as well, and he planned all of this. Like, this was all his plan from the start. He faked his deaths because he needed Kiryu to have an emotional motivation, and then sent him to the Omi because he knew that would trigger the attack, and it was all chess. And Kiryu kind of calls him on this and is like, so all of that shit you said about being grateful to Kazuma after Kazuma spared his life in the raid was just like bullshit and a lie. And I do like this bit where they like we have the intro scene like at the very start of the game where we see like a bit of the raid and like Kawara coming in, and I like that they come back to those same cutscenes
in different angles
and like pivot it to different angles. I do think that's
one
fun.
Of my favorite like way of like things of storytelling is you see the same scene over and over and over again, but from different angles and different perspectives. I immediately am really like into it when any piece of media does that. I'm fascinated.
But our last little angle of it shows Kazuma was the one who let Terada and I've forgotten his name already. Kazuhira? Was that his name? Kazuhara, that's the one. Let them go. Terada's like, yeah, whatever, my creed comes before everything else, so I still have to kill you. And this fucking machine gun ass motherfucking nightmare boss. Terada has this like, I don't know, maybe it's not a machine gun.
Oh yeah, he does. He has like a little,
He's got something.
Yeah, okay, no, he has like a little submachine gun or something like that.
I always had.
Once again, I had many swords on me.
That's
so
fair.
This did not last long.
I didn't use weapons in any of these final boss fights, so I had a very sincere moment.
You were much more skilled.
In the middle of Terada's fight where I was like, I can't wait to play 3. Because in 3, everyone moves like molasses, and when you hit someone, they do not move. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done with physics. I want to go play a game from 2009 now.
Exciting. Incredible.
But we get through that, and Takashima comes in with a steel chair.
It never stops. It doesn't end.
The triple betrayal string is like, all right.
I think someone else who was watching me play was like, oh, is this guy like the fucking 35th Jingwan survivor? Like,
He's not.
He's not, but damn, this is still real stupid.
So he comes in, he pops Kiryu, he pops Gota. He tells us that he was working with Terada, but he was using him the whole time and never intended to, like, and now Terada's not useful anymore. So he pops Terada. He pops Gota again 2 more times, and 2 more for Terada. He's how many bullets does that gun have? Jesus Christ.
So it's not even like a big gun. It's like there's gotta be a limit, dude.
Come on.
But we're turning everyone into Swiss cheese.
But he makes fun of everyone for trusting each other. He's like, wow, this is all just for me, and I'm gonna take over everything and fuck all of you. No one's coming down from this tower. So Terada, as he is dying, arms the bomb and asks Kiryu to trust him.
By the way, fuck that. Okay. Fuck you.
LOL.
Enjoy hell.
Sayama comes running in to help Kiryu, and as a side note, her calling him Kazuma is so jarring. No one does this. I don't know him like that. I feel like I don't know Kiryu well enough to call him by his first name. It's
Why
so
are you doing it?
Nobody does, but that's a complete tangent. Takashima shoots him one more time. I've been keeping a running tally of how many times Kiryu gets shot in the series. We are up to 3 now. We had 1 and 1 and 2 and 2.
This man is going to be so full of bullets.
And he tries to take a shot at Sayama as well, but Ryuji is back up now and just fucking riddles him.
Yay! Friend of the show makes a comeback.
Just ruins
Friend of the show.
him.
Cutscene gun. Yay!
Cutscene gun. You left him unconscious next to a gun.
Fool.
The scene of him just like marching towards Takashima and unloading on him is
pretty good.
He takes a few in the process,
he is
but
absolutely the highlight of this entire finale, I will say.
Oh yeah, he's arguably the highlight of the game.
Yes,
me.
oh yeah.
And delivers the iconic, legendary, a real man ought to be a little stupid. Scheme and fuck like you could never stand on top.
And he
King.
is so right for that.
He's so right for that.
What an incredible line. You say it's iconic. I don't think that was my first time ever hearing it or receiving it and seeing it.
Like,
beautiful.
Like,
fucking incredible. I think that fully won me over on Ryuji, I think. I'm not even lying.
It's like, on first blush, it's good to start with, but also just like, yeah, like, Kiryu still, despite everything, has it in him to trust people, and for all that puts him in danger, that is also what keeps him alive. Like, Nishiki decided that he didn't trust anything or anyone anymore, and he fucking died. Takashima tried to betray everyone, and he's fucking dead.
A real man ought to be a little stupid.
A real man ought to be a little stupid.
I mean, look at Mashima.
Like, exactly, yeah! It's good. It's a good, like, conclusion to the bit about, like, a couple people in this game tell Kiryu, like, hey, you gotta be more careful about trusting people. And I think that this is a good, like, a cap-off response to that theme of, like, well...
It's poetic. I enjoy it.
It's good.
It's good.
Unfortunately, there is still only room for 1 dragon on Kamurocho.
Oh.
So...
There sure is.
So this bit is... I remember being genuinely mad at this bit. Like, Sayama's like, hey, there's a bomb about to go off, and also you've both been shot. We have to leave. We have to get down. We have to go. And they're both like, no.
No, we have to fight. Look how fucked up we are. We're gonna die.
No, we have to die here.
I might be rethinking the whole some men ought to be a little stupid. I think we're taking it a little too far, buds.
Yeah, maybe. A little stupid. Not a lot stupid.
Well, not a lot stupid.
At least, so it's harder to make a case for Kiryu. On Ryuji's side, I get, like, I kind of get, like, they're both fucked anyway. And he's been given his other option, which is go to prison. And is 10 years in jail gonna make Ryuji less lonely and desperate and violent? No. I don't think so. So, like, I get it. Kiryu, on the other hand, buddy. We gotta talk.
Whatever. Also, later, like, his daughter is screaming at him from the helicopter.
Look at that. That's a fucking... That sure is a scene that happened. It does kind of win me over with the dramatic piano music that starts. The song for this fight is incredible, and
I do like the homoerotic pan over of their chests while they're talking about how shot up and they are, and like all right.
And we get our final fight, which this was the one that last time I kept shoving a pole up his ass, and this time I was like, I'm not allowed to use weapons. I need to have a little more respect here.
I don't think I used a pole. I went ahead. I was like, if I'm going to kill you with a weapon, it's going to be sword. I use katanas.
He brings a sword the first time you fight. Yeah. So, like...
Might as well.
He started it. It's a very good fight. I enjoy this one a lot. Sayama finally gets back up to us because Ryuji sends her down the elevator. It's like, well, goodbye forever. And she comes running back up the stairs like, all right, boys.
Fuck all of you.
There's so many bits here that get my ass, but him asking if he remembers their mom at all, her saying no, that she never got a chance to know her, gets my ass.
It does. It was sweet. That one part, I was like, God damn it. Yeah.
And
asking for a smile. Yeah. So that he can see her smile one last time.
Because she looks like their mom. Maybe if we'd known about this sooner, we could have avoided all this. And him saying, like, no, this would have found me one way or another. Ryuji gets me uniquely for this is my monologue. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, Nishiki went out fixing his mistakes at least a little bit. Like, he had a goal where, like, this isn't a noble sacrifice. It's just he never had another option. Like, all he ever had was his chairman father who kept the rest of his family away from him. And
yeah.
I don't know. Kicks a rock. I'm sad. Anyway.
I really was really sad with, like, his end being pretty definitive.
He's the one who I get, like, I most strongly get the sense of, like, if you could just come down from this fucking skyscraper and give me 5 minutes, we could figure something out. But he's also the one where I most know that that's not true. Like,
yeah. He is, for what an ending it was, he was really incredibly compelling. And I miss him. I miss him now. I miss him so bad. I like him.
Well, I have great news. You can see him again in
I know, but it's not
Dead Soul.
Fucking, that's not happening. I'm not emulating on this laptop, dude. It's not happening. I'm not wrestling with an emulator like I've watched you do.
You hate me. You hate me so bad.
Yeah, after the golf debacle, I fucking hate you. I hate you so bad. I am never playing
real
Dead Souls.
Vitriol, real animosity.
Growling at you like an unhinged feral chihuahua. Fuck off.
So fucking Date is back in his goddamn helicopter again.
Oh yeah.
And he's brought Haruka to watch Kiryu die. Date!
She's screaming at him. Date loves putting Haruka in situations.
I think it's so... I didn't call it out, but at the start of the finale, Kiryu says he's gonna leave Haruka with Date, looks at Date and says, I know she's in good hands, and I said, what?
Do we?
Do we?
Do we know she's in good hands?
God bless him, he tries.
Is that something we believe for real? But okay. So
here, Kiryu's too roughed up to get away from the bomb in time, and Sayama decides that she's going to stay with him. And so Haruka just gets to fly away, knowing that they're about to die.
And also kind of catch the last few glimpses of them making out next to a bomb. 5 feet away from her dead brother, by the way. Also.
I know. Sayama tells Kiryu,
this is where the finale, like, fucking disintegrated for me.
Absolutely. Sayama says, like, at least we know that Haruka will understand, which is insane.
Do we?
Insane thing to say, but sure. Yeah, and then they make out and hold each other until the timer runs out.
And then credits. Because fuck you.
And then credits. So the original credits song, which it's baffling
Silent
that they
Night.
didn't. Yeah, because the bomb didn't go off. Because it's a silent night. Because the bomb didn't. Because bombs are loud.
Gotcha.
It's a good bit.
Very fun. Very clever.
It's a good bit.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit.
They replaced it in Kiwami, correct? It's
Yes,
the rock song again? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's that rock song that he got stabbed to earlier.
Which is why,
the good
Silent
song.
Night is public domain. You could have found a cover. Whatever. It's fine.
You could have found a better cover, or different cover. I don't care, but okay.
Whatever.
But
yeah, so that's our...
You can actually skip the credits, and it's like the only game you can do that.
Yeah, there's a good handful that you cannot. We cut after the credits to Haruka praying at a graveside. But it's not Kiryu's, it's Terada's.
Why are we praying
and
at his grave?
And she's thanking him for everything.
Why?
Because he didn't kill them.
Why?
And we get some exposition through Date and Pseudo talking off to the side that the bomb was a dud. Terada never put the fuse in it. And I don't think that there's a concrete answer to why do the rest of it then.
Yeah, that's my thing. That was my thing, is if he had never planned for the bomb to go off, what was it all for? What was the rest of it for?
I mean...
Why?
Yeah, so the only half-hearted arguments I have are, like, that he did still feel loyal to the Jingwon and
did he
decided partway through, like, changed his mind or something, or maybe the chess game was complex enough that he knew that they would all die in this gambit, and so that would end it permanently. I don't know.
There's no definitive answer in a way that is frustrating and not intriguing.
Yeah, it's just kind of
problem.
like
It's like, you stringed us along, you put us through all this, you did this a couple of different coat turns at the top, and that's
it's one of
where this was gonna go.
They love doing this, like, villain who sweeps in at the end and is a surprise, and this is one of the more egregious ones where it just, like, doesn't add up. Whatever. We get a fun, happy little family reunion.
And then we never see Sayama again, apparently.
Yuli's ruining all my plot twists.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, she'll vanish pretty quick. But that was 2. For better or for worse.
I had fun for the majority of the ride. It just feels like the finale was a rug that was pulled under me while I was having a good time.
I will not disagree with that. It has a lot of, like, I don't know, 2 has a lot of the, like, character issues that 1 has, but without 0 to prop it up. So you spend more time looking at the moving pieces of it, I feel like, which makes less of it add up.
Mm-hmm.
And they were a lot more ambitious than 1 was. Like, 1 is a bunch of Tojo factions fighting it out, where this was like, what if there's also a foreign mafia and 2 police departments and 2 huge Yakuza organizations, and there's just so much happening all the time.
There were a lot of moving pieces. It just kind of felt they all got jumbled in the end, and that's about it. But there were some new characters that I liked. I really did like Daigo a lot. I did like Ryuji is one of the most compelling antagonists I've seen so far. I really liked him a lot.
What might be my favorite antagonist in the series. It would be I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it. Nishiki would be close competition, and the villain of 7 is close competition.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. Well, I guess we're gonna go play Majima Saga.
Oh yeah, we have a Majima to check in with.
Yeah, we gotta check in with that boy. And then we'll be done and on our way to 3.
Wahoo!
Let's get to it. We've done it!
Done it again. I think I've opened like 3 sections with "We've done it again," but we
keep doing it. We're just that good.
Done for real this time.
This is it. This is the last of Kiwami 2.
Had a brief Majima segue.
Very brief.
Very brief. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a little bit longer. And that's kind of funny that they kind of expect you to play like 20. You said 20 minutes. It would have been more like 20 seconds, and then go back to the original game.
It unlocks as you play, and the idea of I said when we started, I said to myself that I was going to play it as it unlocked, like, for the bit, just to see how bad it felt. And then I was like, I don't think I need to prove this to myself.
No.
I think I can just say that would feel bad and be badly
You
paid.
said it, I played it, and then I'd be like, wow, they really expect you to stop and play that for 20 seconds and then go back?
I don't. Yeah, like, I would say that they don't expect you to, but then you have the ability to, like, send things to Kiryu, and it's like,
I'm okay. Kiryu played the Cabaret Grand Prix.
I was not hurting for resources as Kiryu. Yeah. Like,
right, I had 10 million. I had 10 million yen on Kiryu.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
I didn't do any side content, and I never had to go grinding for money. It was fine. Yeah. No, it's an odd structure.
It is.
Start with that. And it's an odd storyline. It just continues to be a bunch of weird choices in this little... I almost said DLC. It's not a DLC. It feels like a DLC.
It feels like a DLC. It could have just been like a DLC of like, hey, you want closure for Majima's story in Zero? Here you go. $10.
Yeah.
And been like, I would pay $10 for this.
Yeah, I would. And I would feel weird about it, but I would do it.
Yeah, maybe 5. I just kind of thought about how, like, separate ways is $10. And like, wait, hold on.
We're running the numbers.
Yeah.
So we start and the Tojo are fighting again. We are once again in this conference room and yelling at each other.
This is going to keep happening,
This will keep happening.
Cool.
I don't think it was necessary to fill this in, like, demonstrate this, but I do think it's kind of, it's neat that we got Majima talking about, like, oh, Terada has surrounded himself with yes men and is running this like a business and doesn't, like, it's kind of a shit show over there. And we get to see
Terada's doing
exactly
an extremely bad job. Yeah. That, I do like that part, where it's like, everybody's telling you that he did a shit job, and now you actually get to see him doing a shit job, and it's like, and
how it's, like, changing the culture of the clan itself is kind of... I don't know how much I believe that the Tojo were ever super stand-up and honorable, but I like that, like, when someone who's overtly just in it for money shows up, they're like, hang on, we have ethics. We're different. We're not like this. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Are we? Really? Okay. Nothing in Kiwami 1 told me that, but okay. Nothing.
If
but
you say so. They do kind of get characterized as the old guard of people. Like,
yeah.
I think that it's not a fiction that was ever true, but I think it's a fiction that a lot of the old captains, like, believe in.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Which is still interesting. But so they need to decide a new clan captain, and Terada decides whichever patriarch in the family makes the most money will be the clan captain, and his 2 lapdogs that he brought over from the Omi, Uematsu and Ibuchi, are miles ahead, and the rest of the clan is like, well, you're making underhanded deals, and we can't make money because we're so honorable and good and care about...
Funny how 2 new characters show up and they have really large, obvious targets painted on their head. Like, we did not see these 2. We did not see them in the main story, so...
Yeah, you can... The way that everything is set up, it's immediately like, oh, none of this is going to have lasting impact, because it can't, because it isn't in any of the other games. Yeah, they do this a lot, even in later games, but when they need new families, where they're just like, no, these guys were just off screen. Don't worry about it. They've been part of the clan the whole time. Shut up. Shut up.
Stop asking questions. I swear to God.
Stop asking questions. So Majima rolls in with his wheelbarrow of cash.
I love the minute I hear humming from the other side of the fucking door.
Yeah.
Like, I see where we're going here.
It's a good bit.
It's always a great bit.
I forget what exactly. He said he bought West Park super cheap, and then it turned out that they wanted to do a construction project there, so he sold it for an exorbitant price, so he got a bunch of money, which is like the answer to a question nobody asked of how he got a hold of that land or whatever. Sure.
All right.
Clearly fucking with Terada. Like, okay. You want to run this by money? Well, I've won in money, so how are you going to stop me from... I'm your clan captain now. Are you still going to hold to this? Which is fun. I like that he's kind of...
I do like when he genuinely has to, like, when he messes with people as a test. I find that fun.
I really...
It's a lot different than the way he messes with, like, Kiryu, but, you know, like...
Yeah. I like the, because Majima is genuinely, like, one of the smartest people and best leaders in the clan, and I like when he gets to pull that out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Terada's like, we'll decide this later, goodbye. Bails.
A signature Terada move.
We also get introduced to, I don't think we get his name. Maybe we do. Kawamura. Mm-hmm. One of Majima's boys is driving him home to the office, whatever.
What is Kamurocho now, if not home?
Real. But he gives him this little lecture on no matter what you think of what the boss says, what he says goes, because that's the life they signed up for, yada, yada, yada. He's giving his dad speech to the new boy. Mm-hmm. And we get to Kamurocho and pretty quickly find out that Uematsu has sent men to attack Majima's office in retaliation for his stunt. And Majima drops the line, "Nobody threatens my boys but me," which is a good bit.
It's a good bit.
Really good office culture demonstration. It's good. But when we roll up to Uematsu's place to get revenge, that motherfucker is dead.
What happened?
He lived
for all of
2 died.
minutes, and that was fun.
Good for him. They reconvene back at Dojo headquarters, and Ibuchi immediately tries to pin it on Majima, obviously, because obviously he's up to some shit.
I wonder who the killer was. That's so wild. Why would Ibuchi do this?
So wild. I can't imagine. Who would be behind this? Why would Majima kill this guy? That's so fucked up. I think it's really cute that Kashiwagi jumps in to defend him. Like, I don't think that we've seen them interact before, but I like that they're just like the sort of old guard solidarity.
They interacted a little bit towards the end of Zero.
Oh, you're right.
Because Majima breaks, sorry for Zero spoilers, but like at the end, like towards the end of Majima's half the story, when he's trying to get information, he breaks into the office and starts beating up his boys, and he beats up Kashiwagi himself at some point. So yeah, they do interact.
But yeah, I like that they're the OG captains.
Old guards yeah. It's like, you've kicked my ass, but you would not kill a man senselessly.
You've kicked my ass, but we have a common enemy here. Don't worry about it. Who among us has not kicked each other's ass?
Exactly.
So Kashiwagi sends him to the florist to ask, because he would have the surveillance or whatnot of who might have done this terrible, terrible crime.
Also, I believe this is where, like, the florist and Majima first interact, because I don't think they really interacted in one.
Answering another question that nobody was asking. But sure. It's not like I don't have a problem with any of these little, like, connecting threads that they're dropping. They just feel so much like going down a... Because Majima doesn't do much in 2, right? He's around, but he doesn't have, like, a lot going on. And so it feels like they made a bullet point list of everything Majima has going on in 2. And we're like, we're going to explain these step by step. Like, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but the point where they're like, make a point to, like, zoom in on him handing over his dagger so that they can go put it in the closet or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I get it. I get the gist. Okay.
You could have just left that a mess. You could have left something like...
We can figure it out.
In the background.
We got it. Thank you. So the florist catches on the camera that Kawamura left the office just after the murder and immediately ran off to Sotenbori because he hates us. Because he...
Oh, no.
He doesn't know about Majima's tragic backstory, but he must know somehow because this is targeted.
Because now we're here.
Majima's little quest dialogues throughout this whole thing are really good. Mm-hmm. But I like that as soon as you arrive in Sotenbori, this is a real kick in the dick. Good bit.
I think that's one really charm point with the whole game, both in Kiryu's and this, is just you get little thoughts in the corner of what's going on currently. Yeah,
I like them a lot.
Like when you get Haruka back in Kiryu's story, it's like the least she deserves is spending some time doing something fun. And I'm like, and then that, this is a real kick in the dick it's charming. I'm gonna miss it.
And there's like, when you're leaving Tojo HQ, it's like, let's blow this popsicle stand.
Is this how the man talks for real?
I believe he does in his head. I don't know if he does out loud, but I would believe that this is his inner commentary.
Yeah.
So he goes back to the Grand I really enjoy this whole bit. Like, he knows the drill with all of this, so he goes up to the host or whatever it is, like, I want whoever's popular with asshole young men, and then as soon as he sits down with the girl, he's like, I'm not buying a drink, what's the most expensive bottle in the house, and then you talk to me. Like, he knows the drill.
He's been in the business. He knows how to get through it.
But one of them does know him and knows that he was in some kind of debt but hasn't seen him in a while. And Majima leaves his number with her, like, something might come up later. So we do some more poking around hostess clubs. I also, like, speaking of inner commentary, after this one, he's like, I could go check out the Odyssey, and his quest marker is, I kind of hope it's not still there. Which it isn't. Congrats.
Yay!
But I love that, like, it's 30 years later, you are not part of this business anymore, and he's just like, I kind of hope it's gone. It'd be funny.
It'd be really funny if that got shit down. That guy was a dick.
You beat him.
Win.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Majima win. It's one of the few wins he gets.
As much as this is obviously pandering to people who are specifically me, I do enjoy. Look, do you remember Zero? Do you want to go on like a sightseeing tour of what Majima thinks of Senbori now? Here you go. And it's like, I do find it fun. I am having fun during this to me.
I think that the Majima Saga stuff in particular, ping-pongs pretty hard for me between like, this is really cute and like a nice reference and touch, and this didn't need to be here. You guys are getting a little bit silly.
I think it's very much the stuff that they feel the need to explain for 2, and the weird, heavy story that they kind of shoehorn in there was like the low points of it, where it's like, okay, this doesn't need to be here. You didn't need to explain this. And then the high points are, hey, look at this thing from Zero. How does Majima feel about it 20 years later? That's fun for me. That I'm having fun with. I feel like we could have probably did, like, a lighter story or something. This
is jumping way ahead in the series, so it's just to taunt you. But I'm realizing I think that Gaiden did this a lot better. A very similar thing. There's a lot of, like, Gaiden is heavy pandering, but it's very good.
God, I want to play Gaiden. I want to play Gaiden so bad.
I think they took a couple years to work through, like, everyone really loved Zero, so we have to fucking do something about that. And so there's, like, Kiwami and Kiwami 2 have a lot of stuff that's just them, like, getting that out of their systems.
Yeah.
And then they figure out how to, like, do a very cute, nice callback.
I'll get there one day.
We'll get there, I promise. This is like my 4th tangent. I can't go anywhere. So after asking around a couple more times, someone tells us that he frequented a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. Of course that one. Why wouldn't it be that one? I love, again, similar to his interaction with the hostess earlier, the, like, customer service voice that he puts on when he's talking to the girl at the desk.
I love him. It's so funny.
It's such a, like, I think he's got to be hyper aware of what he looks like. So he just walks into every situation, like,
goes into normal mode.
I just need something real quick. I don't want to bother you.
As a 28-year-old queer person who dresses very much like that and goes out into the normal world, into normal situations, I do relate to this somewhat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, I need help.
I've been there. Especially like a like this, where he's showing her a picture and saying, "Hey, can you give me confidential medical information?" I've been not in this situation, but in a situation where you have to go up to someone who's working and ask for something insane, and you're just like, "Hey, I'm so fucking sorry."
Yeah.
Very, very real vibe.
Yep.
He's just like me for real.
Queer icon, Majima.
So she tells us that Kawamura used to come pretty regularly, and he was a heavy gambler, but recently he said that his debts had been repaid, and then Majima tries to leave, and she's like, I just gave you so much information that I'm not supposed to, and you're not gonna pay for a service, you fucker. Get back here.
He thought he was going to get away with it, too. He thought he was going to get out of there. He thought he was going to pop in and out.
He really did. But she recommends that he get a service with their most popular masseuse.
Who could that be? I wonder.
And she's using a new name, so he falls for it. But it's Makoto.
It's Makoto.
She's still here. She's been here all along.
Well, she said she went away for a little bit and then came back, I believe.
Oh yeah, she did leave it, yeah.
And just so happened to align with what is happening now.
Just so happened.
That is Majima's luck.
Yeah.
This scene, it is a really fun reflection of how Zero's went.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Once again, it's good pandering. It's pandering that's fun and makes me smile and giggle, and I'm having a good time.
This whole storyline is here for this scene.
Yes.
So he's trying to hide his voice the whole time, because he's annoying, and I hate him. And
she is doing her damnedest to squeeze it out of him, too.
Yeah, she's really going at him. But she talks about how she's been married, they have a kid, to that doctor that was at the end of Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him about, this guy this watch came from someone who saved me, and I've been hanging around Sotenbori because I'd like to run into him again because I never got to say thank you. Which is so...
And... she talks about how the strap doesn't match, but she wants to hang on to it. Oh,
yeah, she mentioned, yeah.
This is important for later.
The line where she says, I've never even told my husband about this, so don't tell anyone, makes me crazy. The one thing I ask myself when I saw this was, does she tell the story to every client? Or does she get, a vibe off of him specifically? I feel like she has to kind of know.
Yeah, that's what I kind of feel, too. Especially because as they finish up, and she asks, how is your service? And the one and only thing he says right before fucking dashing out of there as quickly as humanly possible is, you worked out some knots that have been there for 18 years. Or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like... And she smiles, and that's it. And I'm like, somebody here has to... She has to know.
I don't know if she's like... I feel like she's suspicion. Like the gift at the end is like the confirmation and the closure of like, oh, we both feel the same way, cool. But I think that she must have... I don't think she's that naive to not at least kind of know.
I really hope she's not info dumping on every fucking client too.
I hope not, yeah.
For her sake and after everything she went through, I would hope.
I do really admire the sort of restraint in this scene to like give that they get their closure and they get their like knowing that each other are both okay and getting to indirectly say thank you and all that, but they still live in different worlds. They're still very much at arm's length. And I think that works.
There was love there
really well to keep
there was love there.
It doesn't undermine the bittersweetness.
And there's still love there.
Mm-hmm. There still is love there, but
it's time.
But it's
time to keep moving.
Pass it on to someone else because there's nothing that
it's
can.
Good. It's a bittersweetness that I really appreciate and like a lot. It's something that doesn't make me sad or upset or frustrate me to an extent. Does my heart good.
I think that it keeps the tone of the end of Zero very well. Like it ends it. And then we leave and we get a phone call from the hostess that we talked to earlier that Kawamura is in the Grand and he's shot an Omi officer. Oh no.
What the fuck?
Oh dear.
What the hell?
So Majima goes running in and corners him and he tells us that he killed Uematsu and he has to kill Majima next. Again, they try to hit some emotional beats in this that are just like, what are we doing? Because they do this like, Majima, you're so honorable and better than this guy I'm betraying you for, and if only I had met you earlier, maybe my life would have turned out different. It's like, I don't know you, but okay.
Are you? Who the hell are you? I don't care.
Who are you? But it is too late for him because Ibuchi shows up and shoots him, and he gives a whole monologue about how he's going to unite all the Yakuza families, unite the Tojo and the Omi, and run them all like a business and throw out all the old and inefficient ways and
like I said earlier, I didn't say it in the recording, this was before, when I was playing this, I had another conversation going, and then this started up, and he started it on his evil speech, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna check out now. Because there wasn't any point.
He's like...
this wasn't going anywhere.
He's an amalgamation of, like, 3 upcoming antagonists, which is, I guess... There's, like, a gesture at continuing themes throughout the series, but it's mostly just, like, this is an idea that's going to be explored much more and better later, so why are we doing this weird little preview where it doesn't work and is kind of stupid?
And also, as a guy who's playing this game for the first time, this does nothing for me.
Right, yeah, like, it's like an Easter egg if you've played the later series, but it's a confusing Easter. It doesn't... I don't know. Nothing here is really working. He gets the sickest cinematic intro to this fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that stuck out to you like it did to me.
It didn't beat Ryuji's, but it was pretty cool.
No, yeah. I liked the little touch of Majima slides his dagger out of his sleeve at the beginning of it. I don't know.
It was good. It was pretty sick.
It was a sick intro.
It was a sick intro.
And for what?
And for what? And for what? And for what?
And so we beat him in a fight, and he gives another speech about how you're a dinosaur, but you're gonna be able to watch the Tojo crash and burn, and I'm gonna go get the best seats in the house, and then he shoots himself.
As Majima walks away all cool, like, I'm like, alright, cool.
So I guess the plan was that this was a frame job, so now there's another dead Omi officer or previously Omi officer, and Majima's the only person in the building again. Whoops. He goes marching back to the Tojo. He kind of tells Terada off a little bit again. He decides that he's going to satisfy the Omi by leaving the clan and disbanding his family, which...
Another thing that didn't really need to be explained, but okay.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like this is a weaker explanation than, like, because before this we just got that he was like, I don't agree with the way Terada's running things, so I fucking left. Which is kind of a more interesting thing than, like, I got framed by the most mid-antagonist ever created, so I left. Like, okay, you took agency away from Majima in that choice for no reason, but okay.
Cool.
Whatever. And, like, it changes it from being him leaving for his own sake and... because fuck the Tojo and Kiryu having to drag him back to, like, now it's a sacrifice for the sake of the Tojo, so he never really stopped being loyal to them, which is like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, you've really shifted the needle, but whatever. And we get a quick little bit of Majima whipping the boys into shape and telling them to Google construction tutorials on YouTube.
Because now they're a construction crew, and they're going to build
This is what
trails
we're doing now.
themselves.
Well, meanwhile, Makoto, who is flying overseas with her family, gets one last gift, and it's a new wristband for her watch. So I guess that would be the hint that she doesn't tell this story to everyone, because she would have to know that the one person she told about it was but yeah, they get there. They're both off for a fresh start in a new life.
And the way she looks out the window, and I forgot what her line was, but
her husband asks, or she says, like, this will be a new start for us, and her husband says, do you have any regrets? And she says, nope.
Not anymore. And that was good. That in itself was kind of worth the weird everything else. I'll be honest. I like that. It's one of the things where, like, the emotional beats hit more than the logistical plot beats. So we let it slide. But that was Majima Saga. So we're done with 2.
Officially done with Kiwami 2.
And that was a good time. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it has its ups and downs. But
there were some downs. There were some definite downs.
there were some downs.
Boy, howdy, were there some downs, but I had a good time all around. I'm gonna miss you, Dragon Engine. I'll see you in the future.
Get me out of here.
You want to punch something and it will stay where it was standing.
We'll be back for you, Dragon Engine, and I'll come back around on it. But for now,
get me out of here.
I'm gonna go play a tank in a PlayStation 3 game.
Let's go fucking hell yeah. Let's go get going.